The FA Cup winners are Manchester United.
Welcome to Birmingham, the home of heavy metal, Peaky Blinders, and today's hosts, the Blues. Birmingham City entered this season's FA Cup in round one for the first time in 30 years after their relegation from the Championship. Manager Chris Davies has them sitting top of the table in League One, and they have big money and big names backing them.
It's a mess.
Premier League high flyers Newcastle arrived with their own stars in stripes. The Magpies are chasing a return to Champions League football, and a League Cup semi-final win over Arsenal has raised hopes of ending their 70-year domestic trophy drought. Can they keep the party going tonight in the FA Cup, or will the Blues burst the Toon balloon? It's Birmingham City versus Newcastle United in the FA Cup fourth round, live from a slightly gloomy St Andrews. But we have a studio full of bright sparks in Alan Shearer, Curtis Davis and Shay Given. Before we talk about the game itself, Alan, I don't know whether you noticed, there's been a clip doing the rounds of one of your first punditry roles in 2007 when Birmingham faced Newcastle. Let's have a little look. No shortage of cup winners, though, in the studio. Alan Hansen with Liverpool, Lee Dixon with Arsenal, and Alan Shearer, who went close a couple of times with Newcastle. I suppose it'll be typical if this is the year they go and do it now you've retired. I've
been seeing it for the last 10, 11, 12 years. This might just be our year.
Maybe you shouldn't.
I'm not going to say anything, but I'm really confident we'll get through to the next round, put it that way.
At least now I don't have to mention the fact that you've not won the FA Cup, because to be honest it gets quite tiresome telling everyone you've not won the FA Cup.
We haven't changed a bit, have we?
No, not a bit. Oh, blimey, you've got a little island on your head there. I quite like that.
That was a terrible prediction. If I'd known the team that night, I wouldn't have said that we would have won. It was only because Shea was in goal.
5-1.
Exactly.
And you were in goal.
Don't look at me, lads.
5 goals you conceded that night.
I can't remember.
You weren't to blame for any of them, were you?
I blanked that out.
No, not at all. It's a big night on Wednesday, wasn't it? You got to the final of the competition. It could happen the first time after 70 years.
Yeah.
It's important that they refocus for this one, though, because this will be a test.
Yeah, I think with the atmosphere and everything else that was happened on Wednesday, with him getting to the final, it's understandable why he's made so many changes to the team, and I think they have to carry on the good work and the good feeling that's around Newcastle at this moment in time. Having said all that, they come in here. This is a tough place to come. Yeah. They're better than so many teams that they've played before, I think, this season. And it's a tough ask for them to come and win again this evening, Newcastle. Yeah. And with all the changes, then I'm sure it's going to be a very, very good game.
Tough one for them, Newcastle tonight.
Yeah, I mean, go one of two ways. You make so many changes, you freshen it up, because the highs of Wednesday night was fantastic, and the players will be buzzing. But it's a big comeback down again to the FA Cup away from home. Birmingham flying in League One, so it's a tough game tonight for them.
It's a Birmingham City team you've seen a lot. They could cause them some problems, Curtis.
They can. I think it's the confidence off the back of being 18 unbeaten. I think their form this year has been fantastic. The way they want to play. You know, Jay Stansfield, obviously a player that has come for a record fee in League One, a reported 15 million. He'll be wanting to prove a point tonight to show how good he is, particularly against this Newcastle outfit.
OK, well, you've just mentioned him. Jay Stansfield is Birmingham's top scorer this season, having signed from Fulham in the summer for a fee that could rise to 15 million. And he's been talking to Aaron Paul.
How's it going?
You okay?
Okay?
Yeah, all good.
Good to see you. You suddenly, appeared on the scene, and now everyone's talking about you, and then, wow, what a move.
Stansfield! And in!
Such a privilege to be able to play for such a big club, and we're hopefully on the up, and when we can get back to where Birmingham belong, it'll be even better.
What's the feeling been like being around the Knighthead group, Tom Brady, in and around the football club?
Last year I remember having a Zoom call, being able to hear such a superstar in sport, everything that he's gone through, to be able to put it into young players like our team is such a great help.
Jay, we're in the inner sanctum. We can be real now. Tell me about the fee. A lot of people would say that is pressure on someone.
No, I wouldn't say I feel under pressure. I think it's a crazy fee, to be honest. It's a privilege to be able to have that fee on my back, and I can't thank the club for having faith and backing me to be a player of that quality. And I think I've just got to go out and show that I do have that quality and show people why Birmingham paid that for me.
The owners want promotion, you want promotion as well. Where does the FA Cup fit into it?
The FA Cup's obviously a massive cup competition, and we want to go as far as possible. It's another trophy that's there to win, and anything can happen. You've got to be ambitious.
The full interview between Jay and Aaron is available now on BBC Sounds on the Football Daily feed. Scan the QR code now to go straight to it. We've got quite a show going on behind us. It's very loud and hard to hear ourselves think at present. But tell us about Jay Stansfield. 17 goals in 25 games for Birmingham this season?
Yeah, followed on from last year. He scored 13 goals for Birmingham last season in the Championship, and it was a big reason why they nearly stayed up. And I think once it got to the end of the season, they were trying to get him back. I think there was a bit of resistance from Fulham, and I think they ended up going to 15 million simply because Tom Wagner wanted his man. I think they paid more than probably he was worth, which I think he'd probably accept. But talking about the pressure on him, it's more about how much Tom Wagner liked what he brought to the football club. Not only his ability, but his work ethic and everything he brought to the club. He was brilliant, and this year he's hit the ground running.
It's a big fee for a League One club. I mean, although it's paid off.
Yeah, it has paid off to date. At the time, they had Alfie May scoring every game, so I wasn't even sure they actually needed him, to be honest. But he's done the business.
It's a brave move for him and for the football club. At the minute, it's certainly working for them.
Certainly has. Let's hear from the managers with Kelly Summers.
Well, Chris, you're 18 matches unbeaten, top of League One. Newcastle have had a very big week. Do you sense there's a real opportunity for you here tonight?
Yeah, I think there's an opportunity. Obviously, we know it's going to be a big test against a top Premier League side. We are in good form at our own level, and we're obviously really looking forward to the game.
We know you've got big aspirations as a football club, but what do you want to see from your team tonight?
I think we've got to strike a balance tonight between being ourselves and being everything that's got us this far, but respecting and adapting to the opposition accordingly. So we need to strike the right balance. Obviously, I want them to enjoy the occasion in the sense that they deserve it and the club deserves it. But in terms of our performance, we need to strike a good balance.
Well, Eddie, let's take a look at your team first. 9 changes. Is that a reflection of the week that you've had?
Yeah, I think it's a reflection of that. I think to a degree you have to take in the psychology of the week we've just had. The Arsenal game was a huge effort from all the players. We're aware we have to manage this game. It's going to be a difficult game. We want to try and progress, so we've got to try and get the balance right. We've made a number of changes, but I still think it's a strong team. How
do you lift your players after the high and all the emotions of midweek?
I don't think lifting them's necessarily the challenge. I think it's just the turnaround of games is so quick that you've got to refocus very quickly, and this will be a totally different game. So the characteristics needed from our last game to this totally change, and to do that you've got to really narrow focus on what you want to deliver. So a lot of expectation from us on the team today. Really want us to play well and try and progress through to the next round.
Yeah, 9 changes Newcastle have made, Alan. You're not normally a fan of managers playing weakened teams, but are they special circumstances this?
Yeah, I think so, because of, Eddie said it, because of the high, because of the atmosphere, because of the result and where they will get to in terms of Wembley, and then it's this game. So from that point of view, I understand why he's made so many changes. I think the fans will understand that also. But it's also a great night for these players who are going to be given a chance to say, well, there's something huge at stake to try and aim to get to Wembley, because it's an opportunity for them to say to the manager, I want to be involved in that, I want to play, and they have to play well tonight. And he said that in his interviews in the last couple of days.
An opportunity for Nick Pope comes back. So he'll want to take that chance, won't he? Because his replacement did so well.
I think, Gary, the whole team will want to impress. There's a big final coming up on the 16th. Everyone wants to start in the final at Wembley, but obviously Nick had his injury concerns recently, and he's come back now fit. He's back in the starting lineup, and he'll look at the game tonight as an opportunity to think, if I play well tonight, they got Man City the weekend, can I stay in the team, and especially with the cup final on the horizon? Yeah,
fabulous atmosphere out there. I hope they switch the lights on at some point, although it'll be a bit dark. Callum Wilson in for Isak. I mean, he's going to struggle to take his place, but it's also an opportunity for Callum because he's had so many injuries, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine how frustrated he's been sat on the side sidelines watching Newcastle do really well, watching a competitor of his, albeit a teammate in terms of his position, scoring the goals and getting all the plaudits, and rightly so. So again, very much like a lot of the players tonight, he's got the chance to say to the manager, if I score goals, I want to stay in the team. And also his contract's up at the end of the season as well. He'll want another contract. The problem he's had is that he's had too many injuries.
The fact Newcastle have made so many changes, that'll make Birmingham fancy their chances a little bit more, won't it?
It'll give them a little edge. I think they'll be respectful of the fact that the changes they're making are all good Premier League players. So I think they'll want to impress. Chris Davis is very confident in his ability in the way his team plays. So I think he might almost go toe-to-toe with Newcastle, which could suit Newcastle. But we'll see as the game goes on how it develops.
Well, as you can see, the two teams are making their way out of the tunnel onto the pitch here at St Andrews. No gladiators this Saturday tea time on BBC One, but we do have Guy Mowbray, who's alongside Matthew, the Titan, Upson.
Thank you, Gary. You don't know just how delighted he is with that. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the home of Birmingham's Blues since 1906. When the site this stadium was built upon was described by club director Harry Morris as a wilderness of stagnant water and muddy slopes. There's something in those words that fans of Birmingham City can relate to in over a century of up and down history. After another down last season, it's League One for now, but maybe not for long. The lights are back on at St Andrews. Huge investment, high hopes, realistic dreams are in the air. Chris Davis is one of the men responsible for that. Appointed on the 6th of June last year on a 4-year deal. He had a long association with Brendan Rodgers as a coach. Spent last season as an assistant to Ange Postecoglou at Spurs, incidentally losing twice to Newcastle in the Premier League. But he has motored his team to the top of League One. They look a good bet for a quick return to the Championship. As for Eddie Howe, well, he's already got his team to one Wembley final. And they won't be taking this one lightly. Not against a side that is 18 games since they last experienced defeat. So do the teams. Birmingham have Northern Ireland international Bailey Peacock-Farrell in goal. Ryan Alsop has been the regular keeper. Ben Davies on loan from Rangers has brought experience to the backline this season. The Scotland connection continues with Tomoki Iwata, twice a Scottish Cup winner with Celtic, and with Kieran Dowell, another borrowed from Rangers, he only signed 2 weeks ago. Then the golden boy, Jay Stansfield, 17 goals this season, 3 in the last 2 games. For Newcastle, 9 changes from Wednesday's League Cup win against Arsenal. Nick Pope plays for the first time since the 7th of December. He's back after a knee injury. Dan Burn, one of the 2 players staying in to start. He's back at the club he played 28 times for over a decade ago. Bruno Guimaraes also plays again with Sean Longstaff and Lewis Miley alongside. Miley the scorer of a lovely goal against Bromley in round 3, as was William Asula, who's in the front 3 along with Callum Wilson, returning from his latest frustrating injury layoff in the week. This is his first appearance in the FA Cup for Newcastle United. Well, Jay Stansfield has been in terrific form. He cost a lot of money, particularly for a side in the 3rd tier. But Titan, Matthew Upson, he's justifying that price tag.
He is, and listening to him before the game, he is a very calm, cool customer, and you feel there's going to be that one chance in this type of game this evening. Is he going to be cool enough to take it?
Callum Wilson is just a couple of goals away from reaching a half-century for Newcastle United. Another frustrating season, hamstring being the latest problem between December and just the other day. But when fit, when firing, well, they've got themselves a new signing.
I mean, he's going to have to use all of his experience to get through the game, not just to manage his body, but also to manage players around him. Willock in a different position, Asula, a young player around him. They're going to rely on Wilson a lot tonight.
Matt Donoghue is the man in charge. 3 games here last season in the Championship. He's not used to taking charge of either of these teams on a regular basis. And I'm sure he'll be relishing the part he'll play tonight in what is one of the best atmospheres you'll hear anywhere on round 4 weekend. St Andrews is rocking. St Andrews is ready. So Birmingham and Newcastle start on the referee's first whistle. Well, it is that time on a Saturday evening. And Birmingham City will be looking to start well.
Well, what a great start that actually is. Really positive play, get the ball forward. You feel Birmingham are going to get it wide, get loads of crosses into the box this evening, put that Newcastle back four right under pressure.
Work to do for Newcastle United already. Deep corner headed back in, and it's into the net! Hammered in by Ethan Laird. Oh, what a noise! Oh, what a start! Inside a minute. Ethan Laird, former hopeful with Manchester United, didn't make the breakthrough there. He's made it here tonight.
I'll listen to the guys beforehand. You feel this game's going to go one or two ways for Newcastle. Well, when you make those amount of changes, something like set plays is a key part of organisation, understanding each other's role and position, and they're just a little bit loose here. Newcastle, really well-planned corner, sent to the back post for the head back across, and then I think once this comes back in, it's right in that danger area. It's anyone's ball, and Laird makes it his own. What a start.
Well, it was definitely on target, so no matter the big deflection of Callum Wilson, it is Ethan Laird's second Birmingham City goal. The other one was a winning goal under a month ago. 1-0 against Exeter City. Well, he's beating another team from St James's Park 1-0 again.
You know, it's been a long time since I've been back at this ground, Guy, and I have to say, the atmosphere is bringing back memories, because this place, when it gets going, it really is tough to play out for the visiting team.
And Matt has 128 memories of playing in front of Birmingham City supporters.
Very fond memories.
Yeah, and they were good times, weren't they?
They were, and just the atmosphere in here, it really has come to life. They made a big effort tonight to really get it going, but that early goal really has set it off.
Proper football ground, giving us a proper atmosphere and a proper FA Cup tie. Why does it always happen? It's incredible. And Birmingham are going to try again. Mark Leonard to put it into the box. The Newcastle players trying to set themselves a little better this time. Another really good ball in. Tries to shoot, but Tomoki Iwata won't do that. He might now get burned as well, because look at Joe Willett go. And Willett gets the ball in. Too far in front of Asula. Wilson will continue to chase, but it's behind for a goal kick.
The speed of Willett's break made it very difficult for any of his teammates to keep up with him.
Eddie Howe's been in the game a long, long time now. As Bournemouth boss, he won 4 out of 4 here, including an 8-0 win in October 2014. Callum Wilson got one of those goals. Birmingham were actually a man down in the 7th minute. The former Newcastle defender David Edgar got a red card. Way back by Dal. And it's all the way back now with Clara. And Ben Davies. He's just overdone it. That's going to be a Newcastle throw.
He brings a nice balance to that back four. Ben Davies with his left foot is a nice passer. Really has done well since coming to Birmingham. Is a leader in the back line.
Intercepted. Bruno Guimaraes tried to knock right off the ball. Across to the Austrian Christoph Klara, and he's going to play it back to Peacock Farrell. He lost his place in the Birmingham goal at the end of September. He has played the last 2 FA Cup games.
They're looking for Laird on this right-hand side from the goalkeeper every time with the longer kicks. I mean, he's really getting up well and winning every header.
It was Kraft. Here's Livramento. Osula. Nick Pope, beaten before he had a feel of the ball, and he's put that one straight out.
Eddie Howe spoke about it before the game, but it is a balancing act, isn't it? Making the right amount of changes for a game like this in the FA Cup away from home. You add all that together, and if you don't quite get that balance right, you end up with a really tricky evening. It started very difficultly for Newcastle.
Just trying to get themselves into the game as an attacking prospect now, and they've got a free kick because William Osula in the... Well, it was the very definition of being upended.
Shake of the head from Cochrane. Feels he made the most of it. The young Newcastle attacking player. It doesn't do too much here, Cochrane, to be honest. I mean, he does overcommit to the challenge. It's not a massive amount of contact, but certainly looked like a free kick.
Didn't put the brakes on. And then Newcastle are going to try and step on the gas. At the back of the box is Kraft. Peacock Farrell has sorted it out. Willock. Bruno Guimaraes. Livramento. There's Lewis Smiley. Livramento. The raucous noise of the first 5 minutes has given way to an excited buzz around the place.
There's a buzz around Birmingham as well. They have started high press. I mean, the energy in the first 7 minutes or so has been pretty intense, getting after the ball, not allowing Newcastle to settle. Exactly what you'd expect from a good old FA Cup tie.
Well, Eddie Howe called it. Described Birmingham as a very aggressive, high-pressing team. When you get this noise behind you, you've already alluded to it, Matt, but what does it do to you as a player when you come out? It must give you an extra percentage of performance.
It's a spring in your step, isn't it? And it's more the mental side of it, like the belief, all the buzz and the enjoyment of playing against your home crowd in an atmosphere like this, in a club that's been starved of these kind of occasions in recent years and had really difficult times. I think that all adds into the mix, Guy, to be honest, and Newcastle are in a position where they've got to battle against that.
Birmingham started this round as they did the third. They were in front after 32 seconds in the last round against Lincoln. Lincoln, Newcastle, no matter. They've come out charging. The plus side for Newcastle, they have plenty of time to turn it around. Here's Joe Willett. He's seen plenty of the ball earlier on. We'll come back to him though. Dan Burn. Bruno Guimaraes. Willock, supported by Matt Targett. A rare first-team outing for him. Burn. Osula. Full of confidence. A sign from Sheffield United last summer. He's having to wait for his chances. He seemed determined to take this one tonight.
He's very sharp with his feet, doesn't he, Osula? quick across the ground.
Likewise Joe Willett, but he's been stopped in his tracks by Ethan Laird.
He's right up for this, isn't he, Laird? Tackles, goals, winning headers. He's up and down that right-hand side.
You can see it in the eyes.
Yeah.
And back to Pope. Kraft. And this Newcastle selection with a real element of risk to it, but Eddie Howe would say it's a considered, calculated and necessary risk. Clara took a bit of a risk there, letting the ball bounce, but he's got it away for Birmingham City. Look at the workload that Newcastle have, the fixtures that they have with Manchester City next, and Nottingham Forest and Liverpool before the end of this month as well.
I mean, we're talking about this atmosphere, but I was watching from home. That atmosphere on Wednesday night at St James's was pretty special as well, wasn't it?
This time the boots on the other foot.
Yep, the magnitude of that does weigh on the players. I think Eddie Howe very aware of that.
It's good work by Livramento. If he can get there, he did. There might be an opportunity now, but that's a good block tackle by Clara. Sensed the danger.
That's brilliant from the big centre-back. Really read that, stepped across. It's an excellent block.
Turned round the corner. Newcastle had the defensive discipline. It was Lewis Smiley who was in the right place to stop Birmingham having another go.
They're just taking the sting out of the game a little bit now, Newcastle. That opening 10 minutes was frantic. They've had a lot of possession last couple of minutes, just trying to bring the game back down so their quality, their technical ability will start to shine.
Kraft with a little bit of time to be able to find Nick Pope. Target. Intercepted by Clara. Bruno Guimaraes gets it back to Pope safely, and he had the time to afford a touch. Not many Newcastle players are getting time on the ball though. Stansfield in to slam the ball out.
Yeah, that's his work rate. Said about it before the game, goes about his business. He's quite unassuming, isn't he? He doesn't get the most animated when he plays, but he's so efficient and professional, hard-working. Really does a good job right from the front of the team.
Livramento's throw into Lewis Smiley. Here's Clara. He's going to go all the way back to Peacock Farrell. Laird. That target gets close. Laird gets it through to Scott Wright.
Well played. Good football from Birmingham, not just getting the head up and sticking it in the channel or giving the ball away. Really good passing from the back, not taking a risk, but finding good angle passes.
And Wright turns Dan Burn. Burn back at him, but he can't stop him. Well, the referee had blown his whistle. He gives a yellow card to Burn. But there's frustration all round for the Newcastle defender, yes. For Birmingham City, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel the frustration because it's a brilliant piece of play, lovely build-up, lovely turn from Wright as well. Really sells Burn. It's a clear foul, but he's still breaking through. There's a big opportunity here. You see the runner Stansfield just across the face there, could have slipped a pass in behind. The referee just a little bit eager to pull that back and give a yellow card to Burn.
Leonard. Find another good ball in. Look at Dan Burn ushering all of the players in black and white stripes as far out of the box as they dare to be. Chip to the back again. Clara waiting for it. And, oh, what a save by Pope. It was a terrific effort from Keshi Anderson. And he had the freedom of the pitch to try it.
Wow, what a hit. Lovely technique on the left foot. Header back across. Look at that for a volley. Little deflection as well, I think, off Dan Burn. It's actually a good reaction from Pope, I have to say. He didn't have much time. This is a great angle just to see that little flick from Burn off his hand, and Pope with a strong save.
Well watched by Nick Pope. Well struck by Keshi Anderson.
They keep hitting that back post with the set plays. The goal was that, then a wide free kick. Newcastle not quite tuned in to that late run to the back post, and they're just heading it back across into the danger area, Birmingham.
Well, Eddie Howe knew it would be like this. Knew they'd been for a real test and one heck of a game. Right. Anderson wants it left. Wright didn't look that way. And he overdid it.
Just kind of opened up for him, though, didn't he? I can understand why he's overrun that right. Nobody really came out to confront him. Newcastle just held their position. He's looked bright at the start, hasn't he? His touch inside the pitch ends up very central.
Hasn't been starting too many games, Scott Wright. Another who's come from north of the border. He was at Rangers. He was successful for Aberdeen before then. Just evaded there as Dan Burn got it away to Matt Target. Clara, safety first. Bruno Guimaraes. Returned by Burn. Livramento.
These are the moments where Birmingham have to be clever, just conserve their energy, be solid, hard to break down, but as this game goes on, fatigue and tiredness, you know, they're pressing quite high, but when Newcastle have that ball and they want to drop off, just get a breather.
Well, it is a particularly valid point. We talked about Newcastle's workload, but I think there'll be fans of football league clubs like Birmingham scoffing at that. Talk about workload, we have it every week.
Yeah. What, they Tuesday again, aren't they, next week?
Yeah, Cambridge United on Tuesday. Shows where Birmingham are now. First league meeting between them teams since the mid-90s. Osula, it was behind Miley. Collected briefly by Dowell. Osula has it again. And now Livramento, who's going to have to turn back. Target. It's the Newcastle fans who've just been singing about going to Wembley. Well, they are in March for the League Cup final, but Birmingham fans might be tempted to join in. They're only one step away in the Football League trophy. Drawn against Bradford City in the semi-finals today. Burn all the way back to Pope. Target. The hand clapping you could hear came from Chris Davis.
I was just about to say that. I mean, he really did get into his player there, get after the ball. The message was clear.
Well, that's not a shock, is it, those possession numbers?
As expected, and they'll be happy with that. That's not an issue for Birmingham.
It's a good tackle on Longstaff. Wright then plays it back to Clara. Problem for Burn. Problem solved-ish. He's got another one now. But Dowell's back heel. Doesn't find Stansfield. He wasn't expecting that to happen.
A nice idea, though. I don't think he had anywhere to go there, Dowell. Just knew Stansfield had pulled off on the touchline.
It's not a bad record that Chris Davis has got for himself as the boss of the Blues. This is a club that was managed by 6 different people over the course of last season for various reasons. They look to have got this one right.
You would imagine they spent a lot of time doing their homework on this one, and it's a forward-thinking appointment, isn't it, of someone that's, you know, been under very good managers and coaches, and really interesting appointment when it happened, but he's done well.
Well, I did read that they spoke to 40 different candidates and they sorted them out from an initial list of 1,000. So yeah, they did their homework.
It's every manager in
the world. Probably every manager out of work in the world. Stansfield. Livramento tries to get there. Anderson tried to play it out for a throw, but he didn't bounce that way off Longstaff. Target. Wilson has wriggled free. Can't get it through to Willock, but he's still bundling on. It's Callum Wilson. Chipped into the box at the back, it's Osula. Willock tried to turn it in. Second attempt is high. First attempt was incredibly kept out.
What a stop that it is.
Oh, hang on.
I don't know if it is a stop.
No, it went in. It went in. Can you believe it? I wondered how he hadn't scored, but it turns out he has scored. Assistant referee, top of the picture, look at that. Immediately put his flag in the air and waved.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, very tight. I mean, that's a tough one to call. Very tough to call. Actually impossible to tell. I mean, it's the first real time Callum Wilson has got in the game, and he's really made something happen. Lovely turn, used his strength and body. Got the wrong side of Ben Davies.
Well, it's an understandably low-key celebration from Joe Willock, because he was still getting over the disappointment of missing second time round. Wilson's ball in, it was well played there by Osula, and Peacock Farrell paid the price for being, well, a good foot behind his goal line. Momentum took him there.
I mean, it was a great reaction, wasn't it? And it's the whole ball over the line.
Oh, wow.
He's very, very close. I mean, these are so hard to tell unless you have a camera line along the angle of that goal line. You know, that the angle doesn't tell the true picture, does it?
Well, no VAR, no GLT.
No.
In the 4th round of the FA Cup.
We saw last night how influential that was. It could be influential here as well.
Birmingham City won, Newcastle United won.
First real time, wasn't it, that Newcastle even looked like a threat. To credit Callum Wilson, it was good hold-up play, maybe a little bit eager for Davies to try and win that ball. He just used his body and rolled him really well, and then got onto the loose ball, and the rest is history.
Well, Matt Donoghue, the referee, got the signal from Nigel Lugg, who's got the flag over on that far side of the field. Goal for Joe Willock. Big moment for Mr. Locke.
Got razor-sharp eyesight.
As well as good ears. Birmingham come again. Crucial touch that from Bruno Guimaraes, just as Stansfield was threatening. Anderson. It's out, and it's a Birmingham throw.
There was great pressure from Dow to win that ball, turn it over in the box, and Stanfield just took a little bit too long to get his shot off. He's not going to get that much time.
And you look at some of the other ties that have taken place today, and then you think about the sort of regular league season, which is exciting enough. Oh, hang on, Birmingham are coming again. It's a good try, but it was straight at Nick Pope. Turn and fire, that's the Jay Stansfield approach.
A couple of times he's found himself in good positions. Tough one there. Pope in a good position. Is a tough goalkeeper to beat from that kind of range. But you have to credit Newcastle's response to going 1-0 down, Guy, and that first 10 minutes were tricky, but Last 10 minutes have been very good from them. They've been measured, they've kept the ball, created one chance and taken it.
Stansfield trying to knock it down to Dowell. Iwata. And here's Laird. First time asking right to chase. Byrne has the head start. Pope away. Beautifully collected by William Osula. He's got Wilson with him. He's got Willock over. But he went to try and beat Peacock Farrell on his own. And he thought about trying again. Longstaff. Livramento. Willock's there again. Wilson goes to try to score. And he has got the ball in. And Newcastle United have turned this around pretty smartly. Callum Wilson back in the team and back in the goals.
You can't deny the quality of the build-up of this goal. It all starts with Pope. He spots Osula in a position, and what a first touch that is. You're not going to see many better. Tough ball to bring down, and is cushioned right into his path. He then gets the shot off, and he has the sense just to offload that ball, which I really like. That his chance was over, and it recycled again. Lovely overlap from Livramento, and then it is just chaos in the box.
I think Willock's first effort was blocked by Osula.
Yep. I think he does get in the way, and then it is just lingering in the air for somebody to get that final touch, and it's Callum Wilson with his studs just tapping the ball into the back of the net.
The Birmingham claim is that it's dangerous play, high feet. That's what they're appealing for in the end, but
yeah,
Peacock Farrell's not in the vicinity.
No, I think he's just got to use any part that he can to get to that ball, and he knows that his studs are the only option really to do what he did.
You don't see that often, do you? The ball in the net as one of your teammates sits in it. Birmingham City 1, Newcastle United 2.
Cracking play though, wasn't it?
I was going to say that order's been restored. There's no order about this. It's beautiful FA Cup chaos. Cochrane on Osula. You mentioned him earlier, Matt. He's played his part in that last goal. He's looking really, really as if he wants this to be his chance to shine.
Yeah, he really is taking the opportunity, and you know, the door's open. A lot of players rested. He's been on the fringes, waiting and waiting. Young player wanted to prove himself. Well, he started this game very brightly. Looks so pacey. And that first touch was absolute quality.
Hasn't started for Newcastle in the Premier League yet. Can't get in the team due to the form of Jacob Murphy. And of course, if he wants to play as a central striker, he's got arguably the best in Europe in his way right now. Alexander Isak, who's amongst the subs, and now he's got Callum Wilson to contend with. Newcastle have strength in numbers.
It's perfect for him to play wide on the right today as well, though, Guy, to offer that different role. You know, that centre-forward position at the moment at Newcastle with Isak is unattainable, really. So that wide position, showing that you can be bright and lively and have the ability to play there, is a big thing for him to have.
Bruno Guimaraes. A word too for Joe Willock, who's looking really sprightly down the left-hand side for Newcastle. Was the recipient of some absolutely vile abuse last weekend after Newcastle's disappointing home defeat to Fulham. And Keshi Anderson's fire is lit here. He's not happy with Osula. Matt Donohue's doing his best to keep up with it all. Peacock Farrell with the Birmingham clearance, and all of the outfield players bar one, bar Callum Wilson, are in a pretty tight middle third. Up goes Kraft. Sula, there was a slight nudge there on him from Cochrane. Miley. Wilson. Bounce back off his knee, it's Birmingham's ball.
He hasn't had many touches in this game, Wilson, but what he has done, very effective. Touched on him at the start of the game, how important he's going to be. Not a lot of minutes. Fitness won't be at its peak, but he's got the experience and understanding how to use his body, how to bring people into play, and he's done that very well so far.
This is only his third start in a Newcastle shirt since Boxing Day 2023.
See, I can't tell you how difficult it is to actually then step into a game like this that's really frantic and chaotic, high tempo. A League One team trying to press you and harass you. I think it's not an easy one to step into.
A little bit of the home fervour has been dampened down by Newcastle now. Chris Davies is trying to rev his troops up again.
They might need JK the MC at half-time again, Guy, just to get them going.
Lovely turn again, and strength shown and determination by Asula, and he bounces back up quickly too. He's in the middle of a Birmingham sandwich there and has got a free kick. He's not only causing them a problem with his pace, directness and positivity, but I think he's riling a few as well.
He seems to be. Birmingham crowd are going to start to get on him a little bit, which is normally a sign that you're having a good game. And he certainly is. Very high tempo when he gets the ball. He's trying to make something happen, go at players.
Bruno Guimaraes helped on by Byrne. Willock's there! Flags up. This one will not count. Last time that flag went up, it was to signal that Newcastle had scored. This one rules the effort out, and rightly.
Yeah, looks a good call. Yard offside on the flick on.
Old-fashioned offside decision. See it, say it, sorted.
I feel like we're now VAR, Guy. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want that job.
We've got the replays. We can do the VAR.
On your own. Leicester fans might have wanted you last night.
I could picture you in the hub.
In from Anderson. Oh, it's wide. And Jay Stansfield doesn't usually miss those.
He'll be disappointed. How early does the ball come in? Anderson doesn't try anything flashy, wants that half a yard. What a ball that is. That is pinpoint. You can't get a better cross. Just over the head of the first defender and should hit the target. He'd be so disappointed with that. Jay Stansfield, we spoke before about that one chance. I think it's off his shoulder, Guy. I don't think he actually makes the contact. The only thing I can say is that first defender might have just blocked his view a little bit, and he doesn't quite get a clean line of the ball, because that should be 2-2.
Well, there you go. Both these teams very adept at coming from behind. Newcastle have shown it already, and now it's Birmingham City that have to try and continue what they've been doing most of the League One season. Can't see our studio from here. Even though he won't have wanted that to go in, I bet Alan Shearer was off his seat heading it in. Masula, nobody will be heading that in. Well, a few eyebrows raised when you looked at the Newcastle lineup, saw all the changes, but Joe Willock in, William Asula in. There might not have been had Eddie Howe gone in quotes full strength. They're playing their parts.
That was a good ball from Wilson in as well, and that is very tough to call whether that is fully crossed the line. I mean, from the pictures, you'd have to say it is the right call, probably, but I think unless you're along the line, you could never know for certain.
Well, this one went in. Birmingham 1, Newcastle 2. All that happening after Birmingham went in front inside a minute. Ethan Laird with the thumping shot that went in off Wilson.
You know you've got a good game when the first 35 minutes or so feels like it was 10 minutes. I mean, it's just flown by.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Flown by. It's been all action.
Burn. Target. Here's Clara. Won by Target. Feeding Willock, who's got to do this by himself to a large extent. And he's going to. He's off balance, but he keeps on. And he finds Osula. Osula chops back, and the shot smothered. And the next one's taken away from him. At the end of it all, it's a Birmingham goal kick.
How about that wing play from Joe Willock there? Brilliant running with the ball. Dropping his shoulder to go outside, but coming inside, offloading it to Osula. And I think Clara can just see that that left foot is going to be wound up for a shot. He makes a really early slide to block that ball. It's another good block. He's made a couple in this first half. The Birmingham captain.
So Peacock Farrell to go long and to look for right. It's Dan Burn, not surprisingly, who towers above everybody. Bruno Guimaraes, she's hauled away from the ball. Ooh. Watta's rather fortunate not to have injured himself. In fact, he might have done.
Chris Davies really not happy with that in the technical area. He is letting his view known. He wasn't happy with the way Guimaraes really steps across there. Doesn't make an attempt to play the ball, but just really wants to make life difficult.
And I think we might be invoicing them for a camera too. Knocked down by Kraft. And he plays it over the top. Lovely ball for Wilson. Well spotted by Peacock Farrell. Osula now. Well, he saw the keeper backpedaling, but even if he got the elevation, that wasn't going to happen.
Didn't have the time, did he? Dropped straight back onto his line after coming out. It was good goalkeeping, actually. Being sharp on the edge of the box is something Newcastle are looking for now. Just that little lobbed ball over the line of the back four of Birmingham.
Pope had the time to get it away from Stansfield. Pressure on Kraft, who does let the ball roll and has got the throw-in. Livramento with the throw. Well, it's not half-time yet, so we've barely scratched the surface. Talking of which, that's the view from the camera that Iwata just clattered into.
You weren't wrong, there's going to be an invoice.
Well, they cost a bit. Connor's all right. Knocked down by Wright. Newcastle struggling to clear. Iwata plays it into Wright. Not hit with conviction. Brilliant pass to him.
Oh, it was wrapped into him as well. I think that was what made it a little bit trickier. He has to put pace on this pass. He gets his head up, sees the channel, and it's just lifted in the air, isn't it? He knows he's got to take it first time here, right? And he doesn't really commit to it. He's a little bit tentative with the way the ball's bouncing towards him. You like to see him step into that and really commit.
Birmingham undeterred. Anderson. He's been a real live wire down that left-hand side. He scored a wonderful goal at Huddersfield recently. And Laird's going to attack this. And the shot, oh, what a goal! Absolutely incredible from Tomoki Iwata. You won't see a shot hit harder all week. There were cries from the Birmingham fans of shoot. They hadn't got to the end of the word before he did, and before it took the net off.
Well, you won't see a shot hit harder all season. What a hit. That is incredible. I don't think you need to say much about this. Just watch it. What a hit. On the volley, sat up, just bounced in front of him. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, it's almost kind of like a hybrid half volley, the way it's sat up there, and he's running onto it with the pace. Strikes it so cleanly into the roof of the net. Oh, just a fantastic goal. You're not going to see much better.
6 goals in his first 14 Birmingham games. He's since gone 10 games without scoring. Then that. Keep Right On is echoing around St Andrews, the Birmingham City anthem. Yeah, almost speechless having seen that. And a good job Ethan Laird got his head out of the way. It would have gone with it.
Not seen many better, to be honest. When you think of the goals, it's hard to think of many better strikes than that on the run. Ball sat up the way it was to hit it that cleanly.
Birmingham City 2, Newcastle United 2.
And they created a couple of chances just before that, hadn't they? Birmingham were really probing again and asking a question after having that setback at a second goal. What a way to draw.
I'm sure
that.
Since you retired from playing, Matt, you've been asked a few times, when you're commentating, how do you not swear? Well, you don't.
Yeah.
It's not the done thing. Goodness me, you come close when that happens. My tongue's just got over being bitten. Cleared. Out towards halfway for a Newcastle throw.
I think we just looked the other way. It was just kind of take the mic away and just have a moment, just to absorb it. Unbelievable goal.
That's Clara. And here's Anderson. And you can hear the hubbub around the ground. There's only one thing people are talking about at the moment. Stansfield chases. Byrne has time to find Pope. Target. Quite an appropriate name after what we've just witnessed. Pope. Newcastle play away really nicely.
Well played from Kraft, wasn't it? Under pressure, Pope really bounced that ball at him, tested his first touch.
Sula's attempt to cross is quickly blocked.
I still think there's a lull where everyone's looking at each other going, did you see that?
I don't think Nick Pope did.
He had no chance, did he?
Wilson. Behind it goes. Newcastle United have a corner. Dan Byrne will make his long, slow way forward.
I feel Birmingham need to really organise here. Looking at Clara just trying to get people around him. It's important. They get into that dressing room at half-time after what's happened in this first half. It's been a brilliant first half. Just to have the scoreline level will be a great position for them.
Big Dan Byrne hasn't scored this season. I suspect that will eat away at him a bit. He did score in the 4th round a year ago against Fulham. It's a bit of a mismatch against Alex Cochrane.
I think Cochrane's just in there to to do what he's doing. I mean, be a nuisance.
His head's below Byrne's chin. He is being a nuisance. Byrne trying to move, Cochrane's holding on to him. Too high for Laird. Livramento. Stansfield. Stansfield keeps going down that left-hand side. Brilliant run by the Birmingham striker, brought to an end by Longstaff. Stansfield then in strongly. Longstaff not bothered one bit by that. Livramento. And that's going to bounce out of play. Osula has to, for the first time probably all game, give up on a chase.
You can see how Birmingham have come back from behind a few times this season. Credit to Newcastle as well, you know, that their shaky start, come back into the game. I mean, it's just toed and fro, doesn't it, really? Not been a dull moment.
Nearly a minute into the 3 that were indicated to be added. Osula. He was spundled off it by Stansfield, and it's now going to be a decision Newcastle's way. And what's happened here? Osula still getting under Birmingham skins. Davis rushes in. Well, we thought this might have been happening. There are some in a blue shirt who are taking issue with Master Osula today.
He's had that air about him, hasn't he, since the start of the game. I've really liked his performance. He's had a bit of edge to it, maybe a little bit too much at times, but he's certainly getting under the skin of the Newcastle players in how he's playing.
Well, Bruno Guimaraes and Sean Longstaff are pleading the case for the defence. Yellow card, as you can see, is already out. So what exactly did William Osula do? And to whom? Matt Donoghue, first of all, is calling across Keshi Anderson. And here we go. Osula is now on the scene. You have a yellow, shake hands and get on with it will probably be the script.
And they've both been a real threat, haven't they? Anderson up and down that side. It's been a good battle, and I think they've been engaging from time to time, but the ball gets lost, the tackle goes in, and then it is a foul from Stansfield. And then it's just a reaction, I think, from Osula. He doesn't do much, though, does he? I mean, he gets up and has a word, and then Anderson comes in and creates a melee. It's hard done by there, Osula.
So it was a booking apiece. And we are ticking towards the end of 3 additional minutes. I saw Sean Longstaff went across to him and had a calming word. I hope he doesn't calm down. I want him on the edge as he's played all half. And that is it for the first half. An incredible 45 minutes plus 3. And it all started in the first minute with Ethan Laird. Then we had 2 rather strange Newcastle goals. Willock did get the ball over the line. Callum Wilson then put it over the line from very close range. And then Tomoki Iwata. Goodness me. Gary, Allen, Curtis Shea, over to you. There is a lot to talk about.
There most certainly is, Guy. Who would have thought we'd have a scoreline like that at half-time? 2 goals to 2, end-to-end stuff. Brilliant 45 minutes or so of FA Cup football, Alan.
I mean, absolutely magnificent game of football. 2 teams who've just gone at each other from the off. Newcastle struggled to keep up with pace with Birmingham in the first 15 or 20 minutes, and they deservedly took the league. But I thought then Newcastle sort of killed the crowd a little bit, came back into the game, got a goal, got another goal. You think, here we go. But again, you've got to give credit to Birmingham for the way they came back at Newcastle, and we've without doubt seen without one of the goals of the round, and what an unbelievable strike it was. Yeah, he caught it so sweet.
We'll come to that. We'll definitely come to that. Curtis, Birmingham done themselves justice in this performance so far.
Oh yeah, Chris Davis said at the start of the game it was about a performance, that he wanted them to go out there and show how good they are, yes, but then it's obviously still about getting a result. The way they started the game was fantastic, as Alan said, the first 20 minutes fantastic. I think the composure that they managed to regain after those 2 goals, which obviously we will come to then get the equaliser. Iwata, if anyone's watched him this season, I think he scored 6 goals, 5 of them have been like that. So he's got stock of it. So yeah, he's a very good striker.
Scored one better than that, has he?
No, not that.
Not been an easy night for goalkeepers, Shay.
No, plenty of goals, plenty of action, Bob.
Yeah, exactly. Let's start with the first goal. Might as well take it from kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, I think in any FA Cup tie, Gary, you say get off to a good start as an away team, quieten the crowd, get off to a good start. But this is the very first ball, back to Peacock Farrell, a long ball up, and Dan Burn, you think, oh, it's an easy win for him, but a brilliant header, and it's sort of carnage from the start. Get off to a good start, nice and calm, and straight away they've got a corner. Me and Curtis work with Dowell at Derby. He's got a brilliant left foot. But there's all sorts of wrongdoings from a Newcastle point of view, but take nothing away from Birmingham. He's just peeled off around the back. You can see Anderson. And the goal scorer, obviously, Laird's free as a bird in the middle of the 6-yard box. It's something they've clearly worked on. To come off after 40, look at the much space the goal scorer Laird has. He's free as a bird 6 yards out, and it's a brilliant start for Birmingham City.
I think we can possibly understand it from a Newcastle point of view. New players haven't played so much, changed the team, so many players in there. But I mean, you've got 2 players who are not. There's not anyone marking within 4 or 5 yards.
What a start for. I'll come back to you because Pope made an unbelievable save, didn't he?
Yeah, we spoke about him
after that, which would have made it 2-0.
We spoke about him before the game. It's an opportunity. You want to get back in the team, and it's another set play. Gary, Al says they don't play together, which is right, but at the same time, it's a brilliant strike, and I think it takes a little bit of a nick as well on the way through off Dan Burn. You'll see the shot from behind. I think Nick Pope sees this really late. Look at that, the reaction. Fabulous. That's a brilliant save. As you say, if it goes to 2-0 in this crowd here at St Andrews, that will be a long way back, and it's a fantastic save. We know he's brilliant, a shot stopper, we really do. He's been doing that since the first day he arrived in Newcastle, and that's another fantastic save.
Yeah, marvellous save. So then it was the turn of Newcastle to come back. A little bit of vulnerability at the back, but we need to see if it was actually over the line or not. There is goal line technology in the FA Cup, but not a League One side. There is in other games that have been played, so therefore we won't really know, and I'm not sure how the assistant referee could know.
No, because he's certainly not on line. Look, we'll picture him there. He is. I mean, he's 4 yards from the line, and he's made a huge call there. We've frozen it there. We're still not sure whether that's over the line or not, but Newcastle will definitely take it.
Because the camera's not absolutely in line either, is it?
It's difficult. For me, you've got a linesman that has guessed. That's it. When there's no technology, he's had to make a call, yes, but for me, that's not definitive. We've stopped this about 100 times during the game, and we couldn't decide whether it was or not. And the fact that he's looking for a player as well, it's just a guess.
I think you're probably right. Callum Wilson made it 2-1. Sort of goal that Callum scores.
He's brilliant at it. He's a 6-yard player, a 6-yard bucket player. He gets so many goals. No, there's definitely nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a great skill to have. They work it really well. I mean, Paul starts it there with a great pass. Sula does well with the touch, and he'll be so angry that he doesn't actually score this himself. There, he should be, but
it's an assist though, Al.
It's okay, yeah. we'll give him that, but he should put it in the back of the net. There, he somehow misses it, but Callum Wilson's alive and he's quicker, and he gets his foot to it before anyone else does.
It's reactions. That's what it is. Clara puts his hand up to call for the offside. He can probably head that ball.
He's been doing that all his career. He's brilliant at that. Yeah. He is, in that 6-yard box.
He most certainly is. So at that point, you think they're going to start taking control. But Birmingham came back. Jay Stansfield had a really good opportunity with a header. Wasn't a good header, but I really loved his movement. If you watch what he does here, this is the movement of person who'll score a lot of goals.
Yeah, Keshi Anderson does good work here first and foremost to beat Tino Livramento down the side. But as you said earlier, Gary, he takes Dan Burn slightly to the back post, then he hits the gap. But once he gets here, just doesn't connect it. It's head then shoulder, goes past the post, and the man that's been in form recently, you really expect to score that, but it hasn't cost him just yet.
Yeah, he worked it really well to get the space for himself. Yeah. He'll be hurt. He's not that
There's the goal we've all been waiting for. Oh, what a shot!
Oh my word! What a strike! Just look at it also from a Newcastle point of view as well. Look, the lack of reaction from Bruno. He knows target's in trouble there, but The way he hits it, the technique is incredible. But my criticism with Bruno would be here. He fails to spot it early enough. Having said that, oh my goodness. What an incredible strike that is. On the half, volley.
Oh my goodness, that's unbelievable. I think a Clark Kenton goal there, Gary's not saving that. That's an unbelievable goal.
That's a goalkeeper saying that,
isn't it? Some strike.
He won't hit a better one in his life like
so
that.
pure.
Yeah.
And on the move, it just, you know, sometimes you stood there and you've got the composure to just put your foot through it. But I can't talk too much about goal scoring around you two, but that's fantastic.
Well, nor can I. He scored one or two like that. You say that's not a fluke. He does that. He's scored a few like that.
Yeah, he doesn't. I say he doesn't score many goals. I think he scored about 6 goals this season, and I think about 5 of them have been long-range strikes. Not as good as that, but he's known for that in Birmingham.
Yeah, looking forward to the second half.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But before that, let's talk about 1 or 2 other games that played today. Leyton Orient of League One took on Manchester City in today's early game. Here's what happened.
Simpson. Straight to Diaz. No foul, and he's gone for it from distance! Oh my word, it's in! Absolutely incredible! Leyton Orient have the lead! Jamie Donnelly with the magic moment! Just look at the scenes! And Donnelly has produced genius here to give them the lead.
To shoot from there, to even think about it, it's a goal of a lifetime. Wow. Quick corner here.
Grealish onto it. That's a good try, deflected it in, and City are level. Rico Lewis with the hit. It got a chunky touch on its way through.
Rico Lewis hitting one on the edge of the box, and it just takes a ricochet. I think it actually comes off a City player. Is it Kusanov?
Grealish arced forwards for De Bruyne, who's in and scores. A moment of real quality from Manchester City, turns the tie around, and Kevin De Bruyne with a near immediate impact from the bench may well have sent City through to the 5th round.
I mean, just look at him here, the movement from deep, just a deft little touch has maybe put this tie to bed.
The keeper Keely's up. In it goes, it's too high for him, but at the far post, blazed over by Happy.
Well, it evades everybody. You think he's going to get over that and hit the back of the net. That was his moment.
Agony for those Orient fans.
So Manchester City go through. Just here are the results so far. Manchester United beat Leicester yesterday through a controversial Harry Maguire goal. Not controversial, offside. This afternoon, Manchester City came from behind, as we just saw, to eliminate League One Leyton Orient. There were also away wins for Millwall, Ipswich, Bournemouth, Burnley and Fulham, while third-tier Wickham lost on penalties against Preston, and Cardiff won a shootout versus Stoke. You can see every goal in tonight's highlight show on BBC One at 10:20 and on the BBC Sport website and app. More live FA Cup football tomorrow. You can watch Blackburn against Wolves on the iPlayer from 12:20. Then on BBC One from 5:20, it's Aston Villa against Spurs. And following us tonight...
Welcome to the Gun Show! Tony, we are here to help you.
This is like therapy.
Josh, you are absolutely ready for this. What's happening here?
Just checking what's in here.
The new series of Michael McIntyre's Big Show. Up next on BBC One and iPlayer.
Let's head to Kelly Summers. She's pitchside.
I am, Gary, but I was actually sitting in the stands during that first half with the home fans, and I tell you what an incredible time it is to be associated with Birmingham City. Pleased to say owner Tom Wagner joins me now. It was chaos in the stands then, wasn't it? What was it like in the director's box?
Yeah, well, we don't sit in the box. We're right outside with everybody, and I'm surprised I have a voice left to speak to you. It was pretty good. I think the best part of this is, you know, it's what makes the FA Cup so great. You just don't know what's going to happen, and it's why we play the game.
Every game here is very exciting. You're having a remarkable season, 18 matches unbeaten, top of League One. We know you've invested on the pitch though, but what's most fascinating about the work that you've done as an ownership group is the commitment to the wider city as well. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I think the number one thing we've seen is when we got here, the mood was very dour. But I've absolutely fallen in love with the rosy atmosphere that we now have, and it's something that I think is going to last forever.
Yeah, it does feel like that at the moment as well. It's, of course, not just yourself. Tom Brady, NFL legend, is involved in the ownership of this football club now as well. He's not here tonight because he's commentating on the Super Bowl tomorrow night. Has he been in touch?
Yeah, no, he's absolutely been in touch. I've got a load full of messages from him. You know, he calls all the time. He's very engaged with Chris Davis and the team. Spends a lot of time talking about performance rehabilitation, recovery, you know, mental attitude, all the things that he brought to his long and successful career he brings here. He is extremely engaged. I can feel my phone buzzing in my pocket. I'm sure he's, you know, watching and paying close attention. So, Tommy, thanks for all the support. We love having you here, and keep it up.
As for the second half, what do you want to see? More of the same energy and endeavour, I'm sure.
Yeah, more scoring.
More
scoring. This is what, you know, it's what makes it so great. We played really well. More of the same atmosphere, you know, more of the same energy. I mean, it's great seeing the away fans here, getting everyone into it. They hate us, you know, we hate them, you know, for today anyway, and that's what makes us so great.
Well, it was a brilliant first half. We're hoping for more of the second. Tom, thank you so much
Pleasure.
for joining us. We'll let you go in, because in case you hadn't noticed, Gary, it's a bit wet down here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a damp old, chilly old evening. But Curtis, they're doing something special, aren't they? Trying to.
They are. They're trying to, as I said before, they're trying to rebuild this squad, which they have spent millions on this squad. I think it was 30 million they spent this summer, and then in the window they've improved again. So I think they're trying to do things right with the football club, but also with the infrastructure of the club and of the city. I think they've bought a site about a mile away that's meant to be 60 acres, trying to build this so-called sports zone, I think it was called, and they're trying to take it to the next level, which they want it to be a super stadium of the Midlands.
Well, last season they took it to the next level, but the wrong way. But it looks like they're going to go back now. Are the fans excited about what's happening here? Or
I think if you speak to Blues fans, they're happy they can come and they can see their team win every week. I think it's been a while since that's happened. So they've enjoyed this season. They've all come back in their numbers to get their season tickets, stuff like that. And I think they feel that if they go up, they're in the right place to have a good go at potentially pushing again.
I can't believe Tom Brady's chosen the Super Bowl instead of the FA Cup.
I know.
It's a bit rude, isn't it?
Beautiful evening like this. Here we've got in the Midlands. And
especially to see one of the biggest clubs in the world as well.
I know. Birmingham. Beat me. I'll tell you what, let's hope we get more of the same in the second half. First half was quite tasty.
St Andrews is rocking. St Andrews is ready. And it's into the net! Hammered in! Oh, what a noise! Oh, what a start! It went in. Can you believe it? Goal for Joe Willock. Big moment for Mr. Luck. Wilson goes to try to score, and he has got the ball in. And the shot. Oh, what a goal! Absolutely incredible! It's beautiful FA Cup chaos.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that in the FA Cup, and second half's got a lot to live up to.
No, absolutely. It's we're hoping more of the same. I think from a Newcastle point of view, they're going to have to tighten up at the back because they've given far too many chances away. They've missed some big chances. Pope's making wonderful saves, so they're going to have to tighten up.
Yeah, and for Birmingham, they'll just keep doing what they're doing, won't they?
I think keep doing what they're doing, but I think Cochrane needs to tighten up on Asula. Started to get into the game at the back end, and he started creating a few chances.
It could be a long evening, Shay.
It could be a long evening. Extra time and penalties, I think, if we stay tonight. But I think Eddie Howe won't want to take too many subs off the bench. We look at the bench, obviously Isak and Tunali and Co are on the bench if he needs to sort of dip into his guys on the sidelines.
Absolutely. Who needs a Gladiators guy when you've got this sort of stuff? Guy Mowbray's with Matthew Upson.
Thank you, Gary. It's certainly one heck of a duel. And as for going all the way, well, 7 of the last 8 meetings between these teams here have ended in draws. So we could indeed be going the distance through to extra time and penalties. But I don't think we can predict anything for the next 45 minutes, just as long as we get something similar to what we've already witnessed. There is going to be a Newcastle change. I wonder if this was half pre-planned Eddie Howe has talked about spreading the workload, so half a game for Bruno Guimaraes and Matt, half a game for Sandro Tonali.
It certainly feels that way, doesn't it, Guy, to be honest, that at half-time he makes that switch. You would say that they're just going to share the load on this game, and now Tonali gets the second half.
Well, never mind the Super Bowl. I am here purely for Birmingham Blues against Newcastle Magpies. It's been brilliant so far. Out towards Osula, the wide receiver.
I think Cochrane needs Anderson back in on defensive duty a lot. It's a difficult balance to strike as the advanced wide player, but those one-on-ones with Osula's pace is very hard to handle.
Emil Kraft. Longstaff.
So the rain has been coming down in that half-time break, hasn't it? I mean, the pitch is now very slick and greasy, and yeah, it's very much got that FA Cup feel to it, this game.
We are so cocooned in the oldest stand at St Andrews, we barely noticed it was raining. The old roof standing firm. Not like every ground in the country. Willock back to Tonali.
There's a fair few poles and steel bars to dodge here, though, guys.
I've been very impressed with your bobbing and weaving.
Yeah. You might have a bad back tomorrow morning.
Here's Willock. Miley. Willock to Longstaff with a little chip out to Target. Matt Target is getting it from Birmingham fans because he's an ex-Villa player. Proper thing too. Stansfield loses out. Target again, finds Wilson. Willock. Emil Kraft. Dan Burn. It looks as though it's a purposeful plan for Newcastle to make sure they move it around, they keep the ball in these early second half stages.
You don't want a repeat of the first half, do you, where Birmingham come out of the blocks and really set about and they're trying to control the game a lot more.
Osula shifting it. Big deflection on that. Willock is quite content to let it spin out. Miley. It's Wilson getting in front of Clara. Handball was the Birmingham shout, and handball is the referee's decision.
For a moment there, I thought that was going to drop really kindly to a Newcastle player in the box.
Bruno Guimaraes has done his work. Nicely wrapped up now. Newcastle's resurgence in recent weeks after a little bit of a disappointing spell in the season has come about after Eddie Howe made that tactical switch between Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes. Guimaraes playing a little further forward. Tonali, the sitter and soaker. There's much more than that, of course. Livramento gets it away from Anderson. Osula bashes into Anderson, and the referee feels that was with too much force. Both players have been hurt by it. Free kick Birmingham.
Well, I heard that and felt that from up here. That was a fair old collision. Completely accidental. Both players going for the ball. They can't quite put the brakes on there, Osula, but there appears to be very little love lost between these two. They're enjoying a good tussle, and we're enjoying watching it.
Absolutely. Keshi Anderson's in his second season at Birmingham. When you watch this sort of performance, it's hard to believe that he was signed on a free transfer after a trial, having been released by Blackpool. Dowell, it's a really good ball in. Nobody able to put their head on it. What a delivery from Kieran Dowell.
When we talk about that gully that defenders hate and goalkeepers hate, and that's bang in the middle of where you'd want that ball to go if you're attacking it. He knows it. Top quality ball in.
Former Everton, Norwich, Rangers man. Spells at Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, Derby and Wigan on loan as well. He's been around as Kieran Dowell. He's a member of that England team that won the Under-20 World Cup in 2017. Some have found their way, some have lost their way a bit from that team. Draft. Off Laird. Willock in a real tussle with Wright, and the decision has gone to Birmingham.
Birmingham fans are enjoying this. They love this kind of physical game. Certainly when I played here, they'd really get behind the team if we played in that physical way and were direct at times. We had a lot of success doing that, and the home crowd enjoy it.
And Tom Wagner's clearly enjoying it. A little bit different to the atmosphere you get at a lot of big American sporting events. And he's bought into it fully, and he's buying a lot. He tends to revitalise the East Birmingham area. Talk of a £3 billion worth redevelopment. There's even talk of, if and when the new stadium happens, building a 1.5 mile long underground link from New Street Station. That's serious infrastructure. Time for Peacock Farrell. Dan Burn brings it down with Stansfield buzzing around him, and Stansfield is a real irritant. Look at this. Wins the ball for Birmingham. Scott Wright now. Taken away by Tonali, who read it perfectly.
That was great pressure from Stansfield, wasn't it? I mean, look at the size difference between him and Dan Burn, and the way he just gets in and around his ankles and feet, makes life difficult for him. Even keeps the ball in play.
Played across by Laird. Livramento. He's able to tidy it up. Oh, he's not. Didn't do that decisively against Keshi Anderson. Anderson works it well to Cochrane. Anderson again. Leonard was on the move. Leonard. Pope thought about coming for that. Laird attacks everything. He's taken the adverts out.
I'll tell you what, he loves attacking the ball in the air, this lad. He has won any ball that has gone diagonal across to the right-hand side. I hope he hasn't hurt himself on the advertising board there, really committing, but you fancy him at the back post. If he can just get a little bit narrower when a cross coming in up against target, I fancy him to beat anyone on the run in the air. He really does get a good leap.
And something's jarred for him, and something has done for the rest of Dan Burn's evening. And there's a little wince from the big defender, and Eddie Howe will be very keen to ascertain the seriousness of this. Sven Botman is ruled out again just at the moment. He went off against Arsenal in the week with a knee injury. So Fabian Schär will come on. And I think Jacob Murphy's going to come on for Newcastle as well, so two changes at once.
The grimace from Dan Burn doesn't look good. He's got that look on his face where he knows he's feeling something.
And I don't think it's a shock, really. Callum Wilson's going to go off. We mentioned that he's been out with a hamstring injury. He's had so many injury problems over the last year and then some. And he's lasted 10 second-half minutes, or the best part of 10. And he's made his mark on the game with a goal and he's returned to the Newcastle team sheet.
Just interesting to see if Osula goes into the middle, and straight away Jacob Murphy runs over and says, "You're in the middle, I'm on the right," and in my usual slot up and down the right-hand side. Be actually good to see Osula play centrally now.
And that's where he wants to be.
Yeah.
And good to see Jacob Murphy playing in any game right now. He's scored in his last 2, he's got 5 this season. He's having the best season of his career to date.
It's brilliant the way he's kind of come back into the team after being a player that looked like the future wasn't going to be at Newcastle, but credit to him, he's really persevered, and I think the coaches have really persevered as well, and is now showing really high-level performances for Newcastle.
Shows how it's turned. 202 games, 92 of those have been as a substitute, but he has started 14 of the last 16. Finally a regular for the club he supported as a boy. Iwata. Nobody was crying shoot from there. No way through for Laird. Leonard got there but took the pain of the challenge from Miley. And he's in a bit of distress, is Mark Leonard, as Peacock Farrell plays it out and Birmingham's players being urged to put it out. But the referee has called a hold himself.
I'm not too sure what part of his body he caught. It looked like his shin maybe, because I think he was planted there, Miley, and
just below the left knee, got the studs.
The studs came in on the left shin, just below the knee. I mean, the slide tackle came very early, but Miley wasn't going to pull out and had every right to go for the ball. Leonard comes off worse. And hopefully it's just a nasty whack and he can get up and get carried on. I mean, it was big praise from his manager that I read before the game about how highly he rates Leonard as a top player in the league.
He was saying he's really lucky, isn't he? He's the best player not to be starting regularly. That was it.
That's right. He gave him big praise and gets his start tonight.
So 12 second-half minutes without a goal. We'd already had one. After 1 minute of the first half, scored by Ethan Laird. Swung his leg through it, went in off Wilson, but it is Laird's goal, and what a start it was for Birmingham. Newcastle didn't realise they'd equalised at first, but they had. Joe Willock's initial effort did go over the line, as did this from Callum Wilson after a swing and a miss from Osula. And we haven't seen this for long enough. We need to see it again, and again, and again. Tomoki Iwata. This is not a good sign for Mark Leonard. He knew straight away. Never like to see that when a player instantly puts their arm in the air.
No, you can generally gauge the reaction, can't you? I mean, it was a very committed tackle. He went to ground very early. I think Miley could see it coming, but felt he could win the ball himself.
Chris Davis is out for a word with Iwata, and a few others will come and have a chat with the manager as well, and he'll be organising his reshuffle immediately. There's a nasty wound just below that left knee. And he's clearly in trouble because a bit of oxygen has been administered as well. So we wish Mark Leonard well. I just want to ask you, Matt, while we're at it, you have mentioned it a few times, but of all the clubs you played for, was this the most raucous when things were going well? And by the same sort of thing, how hard was it to play when they weren't going well here?
No, I found it very supportive in that sense, to be honest. I mean, maybe I was at the club at a time where we were in the Premier League and we were doing okay, and I think that, you know, there was a big buzz round the stadium beforehand, and you know, I heard the current owner talking about when he bought the club, there was a real down feeling. Well, that wasn't the case then, so it had a lot of positivity. It was full every week. Every player that I used to speak to in opposition teams would always say to me, "Oh, we've got you on Saturday. I hate playing it. St Andrews, having to come up there." It was a difficult place for people to come and play because it had that buzz, and It had a real, like you say, raucous support guy, and it made it special, actually. It made it really enjoyable to play at.
Well, all good things do come to an end, and I think we've started the countdown to saying goodbye to St Andrews. Not quite at the advanced stage of, say, Everton, who of course are ready to go from Goodison Park to the brand spanking new and wonderful looking stadium at Bramley Moor Docks. But it can only be good for the area, the money that's coming in, and hopefully it's just the start of a revitalisation of Birmingham City as well. Just hope they take the atmosphere with them to the new place if and when it happens.
Well, that's the tricky bit, isn't it? You know, you mentioned that kind of gritty feel that a stadium like St Andrews really brings. It really has that here, doesn't it? And I think sometimes that does add to the feel, but it's a big football club. And, you know, you look at the size of a new stadium, you think, oh, is that going to be too big for this club? But in and around the city, this club has really big support.
It's a bit of history, actually, in that the first FA Cup meeting between these teams was in the 4th round, which was the quarter-final back then. Newcastle won a replay after a 2-2 draw. This was 1906 at the old Munt Street ground. Well, nobody is still around to remember that, but that cup tie drew a restricted crowd of 25,000, so similar to what St Andrews gets today. The local newspaper reported at the time there were probably 60,000 anxious to attend, and they left the ground at the end of that year, moving to this purpose-built stadium near St Andrew's Church. And just shows you, history repeats itself. Here we are again with Birmingham City, arguably in a very similar position once more. Well, plenty of care being taken with Mark Leonard, and there is applause from everybody inside the ground, whether you're black and white or blue and white. Mark Leonard, formerly of Brighton and Northampton Town, where he had 2 very successful seasons on loan, and he was having a good season with Birmingham as well, and we hope to see him again before the end of it. So the change will mean, as one player goes off with injury, a return for somebody who's just had one. Willem Tor Willemsen, Iceland international. He's been out since the 3rd round of the Cup, and now comes back on to see if Birmingham can find a way through to the 5th round.
And I think he's just switched with Dowell as well, who will drop a little bit deeper into that position that Leonard was playing, and Williamson will then be more advanced in that midfield area, almost as a number 10.
And the Birmingham anthem, "Keep Right On to the End of the Road," is booming out again. Still the applause rings around for Mark Leonard. The referee will restart by giving the ball to Ben Davies, who finds Bailey Peacock Farrell, and away we go. Straight away there's another stoppage. And Scott Wright is across to see if Mark Laird is okay. Ethan Laird, beg your pardon.
I think Targett just got tired of Laird winning all the headers on that side of the pitch and felt, go and compete with this one. It was a wholehearted challenge, both players. Laird, I don't think, sees him coming. Just gets that contact when you're unaware. It just hits you by surprise. He's back up on his feet.
Just a note of admin, when you're looking at the clock, there was a delay of around 7 minutes for that Mark Leonard injury, so when we get to 90 there'll be a big old chunk afterwards. Pope's made an early call to get that. What a good call it was. Great command of his area. Double challenge for Nick Pope, trying to oust Martin Dubravka from the spot that he's made his own again in Pope's absence, and trying to get back in the England squad as well under new management. Gets that away. Fabian Schär. Kraft. Murphy. Livramento behind. Murphy Able to find a way through to Longstaff. Longstaff's let it run, and Cochrane will do the same for Birmingham now.
Again, just trying to get back up to pace after that 7-minute delay with the injury. It doesn't help the tempo of the game, but I mean, what are we expecting after that first half? There was always going to be a little bit of a lull in the second half. It couldn't have continued in the same fashion.
Launch forward for Stansfield to try and have a runner. Fabian Schär. Oh, he's the next player to fall really awkwardly and hit those solid advertisement boards really hard. Botman out injured. They've lost Dan Burn tonight. We don't know how serious that is. And now Fabian Schär's taken that whack. Was Stansfield culpable?
Well, we saw Guimaraes do it to Iwata a little bit, broke the camera in the first half. I think Schär knows that Stansfield can win that ball. I don't think he does much wrong there. Stansfield, he clatters into the boards as well. They're pretty close to the pitch, and it just drops off there. A little grab of the shirt, maybe, that pulls him with that momentum towards it, but that's just a natural thing. And
well, it's a yellow card for the Birmingham striker.
I can see it, but it's almost like a reaction. You're in that tussle at the moment, you're losing your balance, you just grab hold of a shirt, and unfortunately it pulled Schär into the boards.
Well, Fabian Schär's got a bit to say about it. He realised he was pulled. Oh, he's got a bit of revenge in the mind there, maybe. Not like a centre-back to be like that, is it?
I think he's just letting him know. I don't think Stansfield looks too rattled.
It's on again. Thankfully for Newcastle, Fabian Schär is on again too. It's had a bit of everything, this.
Next tussle between them two could be quite nice.
I do wonder about those rock-solid steel hoardings by the side of the pitch sometimes. They don't move like the old ones used to.
Get multiple adverts on one hoarding though, Guy. It's progress.
Thank you, mate. The marketing degree is coming in.
Makes them heavier.
Yellow card for Joe Willock now. They're starting to rack up.
It's very stop-start at the moment, isn't it? It's not really found its rhythm or flow at all. Laird, who has been throwing himself everywhere in the air, jumping across the face of Willock, who doesn't really compete for the ball, and just jumps up with his knee and catches him. Scrappy,
I was going to say we've just passed the midway point of the second half, but we haven't yet, because I'd be amazed if there's not about 10 minutes added on at the end, and that's as things stand. Jasper Carrott, great old comedian, he's here to watch his beloved Blues. Used to be a Saturday night staple. Birmingham City throw-in. As the steady, heavy drizzle continues to fall on England's second city. That's ambitious. Not quite in the Iwata category, that one, from Kieran Dowell. It went high and stayed high.
I'm not sure if there's room for 2 wonder goals in this game, but that would have been one.
Well, you might see another wonder goal or 2 tonight with Match of the Day's highlights of all the FA Cup 4th round ties. 10:20 on BBC One. And we're back live again tomorrow with Blackburn against Wolves from 12:20 on the iPlayer. And then it's just a few miles away, Villa Spurs tomorrow from 5:20 on BBC One again. There's a lot happening in Birmingham this weekend. Schär. Lost out. And here's Williamson trying to pull it back. And Longstaff didn't have that time. The referee has waved away the claims of a penalty. The assistant referee has his flag up for offside.
Well, that could be quite convenient for the referee. Was there a decision to make? It was a bit of a tangle of legs, wasn't it? It looked a bit scruffy. Scher took far too long with the ball initially, loses out here, and then Williamson crosses it back in. No one's going to get on the end of that, but I don't think he's quite aware of the position of Anderson coming in and whether or not there's enough contact. No, he runs into him more than anything else. Trying to buy that penalty there, Anderson.
Murphy. Scher. And the referee's got another decision to make there. He feels that was a deliberate block. Yellow card coming crystal clear as well.
It's turning into a yellow card fest, isn't it, really? I mean, he hasn't got much place to go here, has he?
If ever we wanted a replay, though, to show us exactly why that was a yellow card, this was it.
I don't think you can really excuse that. That is not trying to play the ball there.
I was looking at the ball, ref, honest.
Yeah, he wanted to put someone else into those advertising boards, and he certainly did that.
Couldn't have been clearer. Newcastle, free kick. Let's get on with that. Peacock Farrell went back and stayed back to try and steady for the shot. Now it's Murphy who will shoot, and it is straight at the Birmingham keeper.
A clean hit, but straight down the line.
Tonali always looks graceful and in control when he starts to stride with the ball. Murphy. It's Longstaff. Here's Tonali again. Osula. Livramento. Emil Kraft. Osula. I think it was foul, but Tonali continues. Advantage Newcastle. Doesn't come back to Tonali, though. Livramento. Murphy. Headed out to Stansfield. That's a brilliant touch. Knew where the space was. Stopped by Tonali, though. He knew where the danger was. Stansfield again. Poking it through for Dowell. Two men over for Birmingham. And the shot is smothered by Miley and cleared by Tonali.
Lovely ball in from Dowell to get his head up and actually see the two Birmingham players there.
Davies is sparking another attack. Williamson's attempt to cross was blocked, and his attempt to bring down Joe Willock results in an injury for the Newcastle man, and play will be brought back for a free kick. Well, this has to be a yellow card, doesn't it?
I'm not too sure how he caught him, whether or not it was accidental. Fabian Schär's pleading with the referee as if to say, what are you going to do about that? Certainly must have caught him, because he was clearing away Willock, wasn't he? I mean, he was in a really good position to make that bursting run down the left-hand side.
Well, Williamson's apologising, but it looked to me as though he knew he'd been beaten and just tried to take drastic action.
It has to be a yellow card, doesn't it? I mean, I know he doesn't go down Willock, which...
But he's been hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a poor tackle. Here's the tackle early. I mean, what a...
That should have been a yellow too.
It's a yellow card. I mean, it's an old-school tackle from behind there, not winning the ball.
Right, well, Williamson is going to get his due punishment. What about Ben Davies?
He's had a long think about that, the referee, hasn't he? From the moment of making the decision to give him the card from the offence is a long time.
Willem Wilson's name goes in the book. think too much time has passed. The Ben Davies tackle has maybe just gone from the ref's mind.
Yeah. He's lucky. He got away with one there. The game was just picking up a little bit of momentum again, wasn't it? A little bit of rhythm, and now we're stopped with another injury, whether it's a yellow card or a bit of a kerfuffle or an injury. It's just been a bit broken this second half.
You're starting to see even more logic in Eddie Howe's team selection of 9 changes when you think that Dan Burn has gone off with an injury tonight. You think you just can't risk all these things.
No.
Well, now Birmingham are going to make changes, 3 of them at once. 2 strikers are coming on, Alfie May and Lyndon Dykes. Clara's coming off, well, we know he's on a booking. And his place will be taken by Christian Bielik. That's like for like at the back. Keshi Anderson's going off, well, he has entertained and he's played with a real fire in his belly.
I've been hugely impressed with him. Very direct, physical, he's got a nice left foot on him. Had a really good evening.
And it's going to be Jay Stansfield as well. So 3 players who were on yellow cards replaced. So there's method in that from Chris Davies, but I would have thought there were changes he might have made anyway. And listen to that for Jay Stansfield. What a favourite he is here. A player probably playing at least 1, and I think there's an argument to say probably 2 levels below where he should be.
Yeah, I mean that's where the transfer fee is levelled at really, and I think him coming to the club with that ambitions to want to climb up the leagues, and that will happen, you feel, with Birmingham, given this season. Slightly surprised at taking him off.
Well, no, has there been a change of mind here? It's Scott Wright who's gone off for Bielik to come on. So Clara came over and they told him, no, we're leaving you on the field. There he is, right in the thick of it, with support alongside him from Christian Bielik now. Good by Williamson. Kraft gets it out to Murphy. And return to Jacob Murphy. Livramento. Booted up and out to the sideline by Davis. Livramento. Murphy. It's come to Miley. And there's Target. It was missed, and the pullback from Livramento, the scuff shot from Longstaff. And the clearance for Birmingham City. It was Davis who got it away. Livramento, it's not staying away for long now. Murphy. Not a great touch by Longstaff.
Just the first little sign of tiredness there for Cochrane. Just cleared that ball at the line. Didn't really have much of an idea of where he was going to go, and he had Dykes available to hit, but just the tiredness, certainly in this left-back position for Birmingham. He's been under a lot of pressure.
Here's Miley. There was just an incident off the ball there. Lyndon Dykes left his mark on Emil Kraft. Player's gone over to the other side. Tonali. Scher. Murphy. Gets past Cochrane. Livramento. Comes back to him from Ben Davies. Longstaff, Kraft, who's none the worse for wear after his brush with Dykes. Murphy. Farrell can watch that go. Well, Lyndon Dykes, Scottish international striker, has come on and he's always liked to put himself about a bit. And didn't he do that here?
Well, that's his role in the team. Pretty blatant, isn't it? Not really anywhere near the ball, doesn't make an attempt to block the ball, just wants to shoulder charge. But that's his role in the team. You know, he's not a prolific goal scorer, He's a hold-up person. He'll bring other players in. He'll allow the likes of May to try and feed off him. It's a different look for Birmingham now going forwards.
Alfie May with some FA Cup history. Up towards Dykes, he couldn't sort it out. Handball shouts, they were heavily laced with optimism, those. Murphy. Iwata held off just about by Tonali. No, he wasn't. And no holding of the shirt. Oh, there is. The ref let it go at first and has now called it back. It looked like a foul on Tonali, but it looked like he hadn't given it.
It felt like he hadn't given it. He was late giving it again, but it's certainly a pull on the shirt. You can see it from up here. I mean, lovely timing of the press, wasn't it? From Iwata. Put Tonali right in trouble, and lucky to get away with the ball. Just kindly ricocheted back into his path and allowed him to get his body in the way.
Cochrane. Dowell. Longstaff wins the ball brilliantly. Miley tries to carry it through. Osula in his way. Miley gets it across, but Peacock Farrell was waiting for it.
They actually recover really well here, Birmingham. I think it's Iwata again. Just dwells on the ball here. He's had a really solid game, Dowell, but loses it there. But the reaction of his centre midfield teammate was excellent. Just to get back in and be another body to have to go past, just forces Miley wide.
Be a plus point for Cambridge United before they come here on Tuesday in League One. Their hosts may be a little bit tired.
Yeah. We're getting to that phase, aren't we? The really small mistakes, decisions are starting to creep in.
Miley shifts the ball out. Played across to Livramento. There's Longstaff, it was blocked, and now it's in! Brilliantly finished by Joe Willock. He might have finished the cup tie. He played a big part in that goal from start to his own finish. The ball was with him on the left, and he carried on with his movement all the way over to the right-hand side to be in the right place. Newcastle United lead once again at St Andrews, and this time there's not as long left for Birmingham to do anything about it.
Well, you feel like the fatigue is just starting to set in for Birmingham, and Newcastle have really taken advantage. They've not let up at all. They've kept asking the question, probing, just the tackles, the clearances. They're not quite as clean, they're not quite as crisp as what they have been. And when you have the quality that Newcastle have, like Willock with his finish, just keeps it low. He knows there's bodies between him and the goal, but it's actually a really well-controlled finish, just to keep that low. Aim it right around the goalkeeper's ankles. It might just go down the side of his feet or between his legs, and it goes right through the middle. Keeps his cool nicely.
Two on the board for Joe Willock. 3 in the net for Newcastle United. And if they can hold on to this, or maybe even add to their lead, what a week it's been for the Magpies. It's not over yet, though, we know that. 6.5 minutes to go, then a big old amount of time to be added. Birmingham City corner, and before they take it, they're going to put on a former Newcastle player, only briefly a Newcastle player, but Grant Hanley's coming on. He's only recently become a Birmingham player. And he's taking over from Tomoki Iwata. Normally, when a player goes off who's scored, we get to see it again, but there's too much happening, we don't have time. Swung in, Pope goes back, and he's kept it out superbly. What a reaction at the last from Nick Pope.
Ah, it's a big right leg comes out. What a delivery. Look at the swing on the ball. I don't think he sees it till late either, Nick Pope. He comes out, he goes fishing for it initially, and it's really good footwork, actually, to drop back onto his line and then adjust his feet to deal with that.
Another one into his box that's headed across, and it's Laird. Hit that one straight against Tonali, who's now giving chase and forcing the ball out of play for a Newcastle throw.
I mean, I know that win midweek was obviously a huge moment for Newcastle, but if this stays the same, this scoreline, Eddie Howe in that dressing room will be so delighted with his players.
Well, they're showing up another side to their talents.
It's different, isn't it? You know, having to deal and cope with this kind of environment, how the game's gone, it's a different football match entirely. And show that they're up for the fight, really.
With a team of players, or 9 of them anyway, who haven't been regular starters lately. They'll need them all between now and the end as they chase silverware, domestic silverware, for the first time since 1955, as they chase a return to the Champions League. And they're still involved, as we are, in the FA Cup too. Well, that chant has boomed back and forth today. You only sing when you're winning. Sooner. Down, tripped once more, Newcastle free kick. You can sense now that little bit of extra fatigue. The tackles are now more lunges.
The amount of fouls, the amount of yellow cards, like you say, the footwork has gone a little bit, the lungy desperation almost to get hold of the ball. We're in that stage of the game, and haven't they given a lot, Birmingham City? I mean, the pace in the first half was just frantic. For them to keep up with that was pretty incredible. They've now got a massive challenge on their hands, but we've seen just a moment ago how easily things can turn. A set play, a corner, anything, and they're back in the game.
Jacob Murphy with the Newcastle free kick. Gets it behind the line. Williamson prevents the corner. Laird still full of it. Toe poke, asking for Dykes to chase it.
In the first 5 seconds of this game, he sprinted up the field and won a header up this near side, and he hasn't changed the whole time. He's just been going for it at every opportunity.
Bielik. Here's Longstaff. Longstaff is under pressure from Dowell. Target. Share, made to work by that Joe Willock pass. Bielik. Here's Livramento. Murphy, the wide player, played into the box. Tonali's effort was blocked straight away. And Birmingham get it away.
It's a good block from Hanley, isn't it? Saw Tonali arrive in and just read it really well.
Kraft this time gets a free kick after his next little encounter with Lyndon Dykes. Let's take a look at this latest Newcastle attempt to make this more safe.
It's good anticipation, isn't it, Hanley? He knows where the ball's going and he just gets along that line, blocked with the left foot.
Now, I would normally have asked you a minute ago for your Emirates player of the match, Matt, but we know there'll be at least 6-7 minutes added on, so we'll give you another 3 or 4.
Yeah, okay.
Unless you want to say Watter for the goal now. Here come Birmingham once more.
It's a good enough reason, isn't it?
Cleared by Target. Laird. He's a contender. And he's got past another challenge. Tonali. Laird is all over him. It won't roll out for Sandro Tonali. He didn't need it to. He's been as cool as you like since coming on. Not a game that's easy to be cool in. Across to Jacob Murphy, and he will get it. And after a stumble, he is through on goal. And Murphy's around Peacock Farrell, but he's denied the goal. Superb covering.
Well, it's a brilliant ball across to see the space. Gets his head up, hits that one. And that first touch just throws Jacob Murphy off a little bit. I think for me, he's got to take that a little bit earlier, maybe straight through the legs of the goalkeeper was on early on, but opts to go round, gets the shot on target, but brilliant recovery.
And you'll notice at the top of your picture, the time of the game has been accompanied by a +12. That's how many more minutes were indicated. So still 12 minutes for Birmingham to keep their FA Cup season alive. It's all for Newcastle to sort it out once and for all. Here's Livramento. Murphy. Livramento. He's got it through the legs of May. Cross comes Davis. Nice touch for Dykes. And Dykes gets it through the legs of Longstaff. Oh, what about the footwork? It's a shame about the pass that followed.
Just fractionally over here. I don't think May expected the ball to go that far into his path. Lovely footwork, though.
Murphy. Nice touch off the chest. Stopped by Cochrane. Williamson.
He's had a lot to deal with, Cochrane at left back, hasn't he? First half and second half, he's really been tested.
Offside, Alfie May, as Dykes tried to spring the trap after some superb work from Williamson.
He's been quite clever since he's come on, Williamson, hasn't he? You can tell he's got that little number 10 role in his locker. Lovely little Cruyff turn and then ball in. The slip pass, I mean, that's a tight offside as well. Just the lean of May probably just puts him off.
Nigel Lugg's had a good game. Spotted the lob. Chris Davis urging his team on for the last efforts. 10 more minutes to go of this. Birmingham City 2, Newcastle United 3 in another Emirates FA Cup thriller. But it's not done and dusted yet. Longstaff. Livramento. Murphy. Murphy trying to get away and then trying his luck. Straight as an arrow wide.
It's been the perfect situation to bring him on, really, isn't it? With the game a little bit stretched and tired now. With his freshness, he's coming on and looking to create every time it comes out here. They're trying to create this space on the right-hand side, Newcastle, where it gives him a little bit of one-on-one action with Cochrane, who's now really feeling the pace, understandably. He's had a really tough challenge this evening and done pretty well.
Attempts on goal are in Newcastle's favour. The second half has largely been well in Newcastle's favour. And as things stand, they're on their way past the fourth round for only the third time in the last 19 seasons. Quarter-finals last year when they lost at Manchester City. As we know, already in the League Cup final next month. Whether they win that or not, whatever happens in the FA Cup from here on in, and in this game from here on in, there will be a trophy coming for Newcastle United soon after all that time. Played back to Peacock Farrell, who only had one touch of that. Bielik. Down. Peacock Farrell with a casual touch, a confident one. What sort of energy have Birmingham City got left? Tonali. Pope. And now here's Kraft. Sula, who's been kept quiet over the last 15 minutes or so.
It's been different from him going central. That's why I was quite interested to see him go inside the pitch. I thought he had a lot of joy out on the right and looked like a player that could really thrive a little bit wider of that front three.
Bucks trying to knock it on. Alfie May on the ball now. Cochrane outside. May only looking inside and looking towards goal. Well, he got it on target, but he never got any sort of power.
You felt he made his mind up really early on that he was going to have a shot in that move. And it nearly opened up for him, but I don't think that the opportunity to shoot was really there. There's a couple of players in good positions, and Birmingham City have just got to keep that composure when they get in that area, because, like you've said, Guy, this is not over yet.
They still have 6 minutes.
Yep.
Osula. Osula's having another go. And it rises high off his right foot. Scored a beauty in the last round against Bromley. That's his only Newcastle goal today. It's booted high and out of play. Birmingham throw. Down. Hanley wants Dykes to win it. Kraft is waiting for it for Newcastle. Longstaff, Bielik, Williamson, Laird, quickly blocked by Matt Target. Birmingham throwing.
Just got to get crosses in the box now. Birmingham, any opportunity, an overlap, a deeper cross. Get Dykes in there with May and just try and cause some chaos.
Davis. Hanley recovered his balance. Livramento. Longstaff, he was pulled out by Cochrane. It's going to be a Newcastle free kick. And I think we can take the risk now, Matt. 4 minutes to go and a bit more. Your man of the match.
I think it's been a very difficult game to call. Brilliant Birmingham City performances. The goal and performance from Iwata was top, but this man has, just for me, epitomised everything about what Eddie Howe wanted from his Newcastle players today. To not be in the team regularly and to step up in a different position, a different role, and deliver that kind of performance and 2 goals. I think he fully deserves man of the match for me.
Newcastle United now have a corner. A very tired-looking Christoph Klar has conceded it. One of those games where I almost feel like we should name one from each side, but
you could name a couple. There's been a lot of very good performances, and like I say, take the goal away, which was magnificent, the moment of the match from Iwata, but he also played very well in that midfield, got after the ball, used it well.
Murphy on the corner, and he'll take as long as he can with it, with support coming from Tonali. Goal kick. Tonali disputes it. Peacock Farrell with the big boot, looking for Lyndon Dykes to win it. Target lets it bounce out of play. Chris Davis will be bitterly disappointed if, as looks likely, his team goes out of the FA Cup today, but he'll also be a very proud head coach. As attention will switch back to the mission for Birmingham City to get straight back into the Championship and then only keep locking up. And there might be a Wembley final to come for them this season. As we mentioned earlier, they have got through to the semi-finals of the Virtu Trophy, the Football League Trophy as it's called. They'll face Bradford City in the last 4 of that. They aren't out of this yet. Peacock Farrell. Hanley goes, but it was a slight misjudgment. He couldn't get off the floor, and the ball pretty much just bounced off his head.
Yeah, it was a funny one. It looked like the ball was going to land in a good position for him, just to nod that back into the danger area. And he started so brilliantly with the set plays, but he just can't get the purchase. He almost like mistimed the jump, really.
Osula. He'd love to finish his night with a goal. Can't keep it in the corner away from a Birmingham player. He's holding on to Bielik there and then goes down. Newcastle fans ask for something, Osula asks for something. None of them get anything. Cochrane, that's a good ball. Williamson, Tonali's onto him. Cher trying to catch Peacock Farrell off his line.
It's an important tackle from Tonali, wasn't it? Lovely ball from Cochrane, just to see the breaking the line into the front.
I don't think Tonali's put a single foot wrong since coming on at half-time.
It's been nicely played from Eddie Howe, really, if that was the plan to begin with, to think, well, I can't do without either one of them, so I'm just going to go half and half and see how that works. And you have to say it's worked well enough.
And there's Dykes, Birmingham still pushing. Ball in from Cochrane. Cleared away by Fabian Cher. Osula then is insinuating that he may have taken an elbow there from Clara. The referee has stopped the game because he says it is a head injury. It's not because he necessarily saw anything sinister. Yeah. And I think it's a clash of heads. Look at Christoph Clara, he's struggling too.
Yeah, it was a clash of heads. He's just tried to head the ball here, Clara, and he's headed through the back of Osula as he jumps up to head it. 2 players challenging for the ball fairly. I mean, he really has competed well, the young Newcastle player. I've been impressed with the way he's gone about it physically and trying to unsettle Birmingham. He's really approached this FA Cup tie with full vigour.
As he's treated, and we move past 102 minutes of the match. Don't see that often. Christoph Clara was just checking with the referee. Is it our ball? Can I go forward? And the ref gave him the thumbs up for that. Birmingham had it, so the ball will be back in their possession. Newcastle fans preparing for either a good night down in Birmingham or a happy trip back up to the northeast. It is a night for 3 layers, unless you're a member of the Toon Army. Birmingham fans will always keep right on. It is they who are in fine voice now as William Osula's efforts are applauded by the Newcastle supporters, and they have been terrific efforts too.
I think he can be really happy with his performance.
Sorry, Matt, I've just seen who's coming on.
I know. I know, some replacement at this stage in the game, isn't it? But this young man has done very well. Really like the way he's gone about his game. He's caused some problems for Birmingham and worked his socks off.
So on comes Alexander Isak for the last seconds of the match. 11 goals in his last 10 games. Played up, and there's a heavy Birmingham presence here. Bielik has it. Wriggling past the challenges. Williamson goes in. Laird is down. Birmingham will have to deliver it into that box again, and they haven't done. Pope can catch it at his leisure. And Cochrane knows that was probably the last chance to do anything. It was. The final whistle sounds at St Andrews after a sensational night of 4th round FA Cup football. Matt Upson, we've had the lot this evening.
Haven't we just? I mean, we've had brilliant competitive football, played in a brilliant spirit. We've had moments of sheer quality and one of the best goals I've seen this season. I mean, what an FA Cup goal that is, all mixed in together at St Andrews in an atmosphere that's been top class. What an enjoyable game of football.
Fiery, fantastic and fun. And it's Newcastle United whose great week continues. They're through to the 5th round. Birmingham City 2, Newcastle 3.
Well, it was Newcastle in the end that triumphed, but it was an entertaining game of football, particularly the first half. Few injuries steadied the ship in the second, but in the end Newcastle found a way through the Birmingham City rearguard, and it's Newcastle United that go through to the FA Cup 5th round in back-to-back campaigns for the first time since Alan Shearer's final season 19 years ago. Alan, remind me, did you go on to win the... Oh no, of course you didn't. But it was a tough night for them. It wasn't easy, was it? Birmingham City made it very difficult for them.
No, they made it very difficult. Coming into this environment, the crowd were really up for it, and so the players can be really proud of what they've done, the Birmingham players. I think it was always going to be really difficult to keep up that intensity when you're playing against a Premier League team and Premier League players, but they did not give it a good go, and I think Newcastle deserve credit as well because of the number of changes that they have made coming into this really tough ground. I know what it's like, I've been here before. They're a good team, they've got a young progressive manager, and they were really, really up for it. So Newcastle stood up to what they had, and they've come away with a really good performance and a fantastic result.
Fabulous atmosphere. Curtis, what can Birmingham City take away from this?
I think ahead of the show, Chris Davies was talking about performance and trying to give a good performance today and see where that takes them. I think we were all impressed with their performance, particularly in the first half. Early stages of the second half, they were in the game, but then they just started to lose their legs a bit. Newcastle started to dominate the game, started to take the game. I think Tonali was a big difference. He controlled the game in the second half, and it was just too much for Birmingham on the night.
Really helps when you've got a few heavyweights to put on.
Yeah. I mean, it was a brilliant FA Cup tie, wasn't it? You know, both teams deserve great credit, Gary. They really do. Where first half was unbelievable, end to end, wasn't it? Goals, goal line clearances, a few dodgy decisions, no VAR. We had the lot, didn't we? And it was a brilliant game. I think the better team won, but as Al rightly says, when you make that many changes, sometimes it doesn't actually just roll in easy. Yeah. So these players that came on, Willock was brilliant, star player, 2 goals, of course. He'll have enjoyed his night at Birmingham for sure, and we're on the draw Monday night.
Willockino.
Yeah. 2 very good goals. Yeah. The manager just asked him to come in and do a job, and he did it really, really well. Tonali, I thought, was magnificent in the second half when he came on for that second half. So they've had to stand up and fight and scrap and all the things that you've got to do when you come to a ground like this, when everyone's up for it, when we're here because you know the reason what the cameras are here. They're made just because in case there's an upset. So you've got to stand up to all of that as the players, and I thought the Newcastle players did that really, really well.
Fabulous atmosphere, wasn't it? Right throughout, really.
Yeah, I think they were
quite aggressive on the pitch at times.
Yeah, it nearly spilled over, and we'll talk about that after with a couple of decisions. But I think from the moment we got here at 2 o'clock, and people were already queuing up to get in the ground to go to the fan park. So it was always going to be a big atmosphere here. The game didn't let us down with that either. And as I say, a 3-2 performance isn't too bad for Birmingham in terms of going toe-to-toe with a good Newcastle side.
Yeah, it's been a long wait for Newcastle. You've got a final coming up. Now you're into the 5th round. You know what it's like. You wait 70 years, you probably win 2 trophies in one season.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Get us too excited.
I think you would. Let's hear from 2 of Newcastle's stars of the evening, 2 of their goal scorers, with Kelly Summers.
Well, Callum, you did it the hard way, but you got it done. Is the overriding feeling at full-time relief?
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic FA Cup game. We didn't give ourselves the best start. Easy goal to concede. I think it was probably 30 seconds on the clock, and you give yourself an uphill battle, but it kind of got us going a little bit, and then we had to wake up, come out and show our qualities.
Joe, 2 goals for you tonight. Alan Shearer's just described them as very good goals. Did you also show the manager just how versatile you are tonight?
Yeah, I think I was trying to give my best, you know. It's not been an easy season for me, if I'm honest. Like, I've been waiting for my chance to sort of push on, and I think hopefully this is like a start of something better for me this season, you know.
He's mentioned they're not an easy season, but before we talk about your goal this evening, how pleased are you for him, given the abuse he suffered last week, that he was able to go out and put that performance in on the pitch tonight?
Yeah, delighted for Joe. He's a big character in the dressing room. We all love him. We're all supporting and standing by him. And like you said, it's difficult when you're not in the team. And he's been patient. He's got his opportunity today and he's took it. So now it gives the manager options for him to come on that left-hand side, also in midfield as well.
OK, let's talk about you as well then, because it's been a difficult campaign for you as well. Your first goal of the season, the Newcastle fans will want to know, how are you feeling? How fit are you? Are you ready for the run-in?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked hard to get myself into the position now to be able to start games again. I didn't want to come back too soon, so that I was coming off the bench trying to get my fitness. So I'm trying to just basically, play as many games as I can now from now to the end of the season, help the team, get some goals and things like that. And yeah, it's been frustrating to say the least, but hopefully I'm on the other side of it now and can just contribute from here out.
Joe, these fans are already going to Wembley, as are you guys, of course. How exciting is it to be a Newcastle player right now and to be playing in the form and the performance you've put in tonight, given the run-in that you guys have got ahead of you? Yeah,
it's very exciting times. We just want to thank the fans for coming out again today. It's not an easy place to come to, you know, it's raining and it's a hard place to come to, but we just want to thank them and hopefully we can go one better this time in the Carabao Cup and continue in this cup like today.
Well, congratulations to both of you, particularly to you, Joe, because you are the player of the match. I'll let Callum do the honours.
Congratulations! Well done.
Thank you, guys. Well played.
Yeah, good times to be a Newcastle United supporter, Shay and Alan, no?
No, it is. I mean, Eddie deserves a lot of credit. He's done a great job in all his time since he's been at Newcastle. He's taken the cup competitions seriously. I know he's made changes today, but those changes had to be made after what happened in midweek and what is going to happen going forward. So, yeah, he's got a very good team who like to play on the front foot, who like to play with a lot of energy. Yeah. But I think what they've shown this evening is that they've got a good squad. They've got a really, really good attitude because it had to be different tonight. They had to roll up the sleeves and fight for everything they got tonight.
Yeah, it was a gritty display. They were forced into that.
Yeah, I think they were forced into it, but I think the way that they approached the game, they unfortunately they started the game poorly, but they grew into it, and with the quality that they were able to bring off the bench, the internationals, the Premier League quality, it was always going to be a tough ask for them.
Let's look at the winning goal first, and then we'll go back to see the first half goals later. But yeah, Joe Willock. Good night.
I thought Joe Willock showed great energy this evening, and not only just because of his goals, but because of the way he carried the ball forward for his team. I mean, he starts it off there and gets into a clever position. Once he's in there, it's a matter of hitting the target, and you'd be amazed how many times the ball goes through the goalkeeper's legs. So you aim there, you've got a good chance of it happening. But he's in there. That's the main thing. He's given himself that opportunity. But it wasn't just his goals, I don't think, that got him man of the match. I think it was the way he carried the ball, the way he relieved the pressure off his team when he was able to do that, to get 30 or 40 yards further up the pitch.
Yeah. After that, 3-2, saw a big save from Nick Pope, didn't we?
Yeah,
he made an amazing save in the first half, but this with his feet.
I mean, Newcastle tonight were very vulnerable actually from set plays, I felt, and a brilliant save again from Nick. You know, he's 6'7" or something, but it's a long way down at times, Gary, and it's a brilliant save of his leg. It doesn't matter how you keep the ball out, you keep the ball out, and again, it's a huge moment in the game. As you said, first half he made a brilliant save off a deflection from Dan Burn as well, so he's done himself no harm as well. And what I would say, you know, talk about Callum Wilson, we've got a goal scorer come back, Isak, they've got all fighting for positions. Joe Willock was brilliant tonight, he really was.
For Birmingham, they were good at set pieces, weren't they? I mean, you don't sometimes expect that perhaps from a League One side, although they're very much top of the League One.
Yeah, they were very good. Dangerous. We knew what they were doing on every single one, and they seemed to tune into it. But Newcastle just couldn't get to grips with it, and I think that was the problem. I think probably Pope had to make the better saves on the night, and that will be frustrating for them in the fact that he's had to make more saves. He's made the big saves, and they've still come out. I
think they were perhaps vulnerable from set pieces, Newcastle, particularly early on. There's a bit of an excuse with so many players coming into the team who've perhaps not played a lot of football, trying to find themselves up to speed of the game. So I'm just trying to make excuses, basically.
Cover a few dodgy defending.
Mark Leonard looked like he got a nasty injury. Let's hope it's nothing too serious. He's back playing soon. Miley's tackle. Question of a red card possibly here?
I don't think so. I think it was accidental. He's not high I think he is trying to go for the ball. He is late, and it's just really, really unfortunate that.
Curtis might think differently.
I'll play devil's advocate, and I think if that's VAR, the position his foot's in as a straight leg with studs, I think that's potentially a red card.
Potentially.
I just think that what I've seen this season with some that aren't as bad as that, I feel that might have been a red card, and it was the catalyst to the way the game went after that.
Yeah, it did. It got a bit tasty, didn't it?
A few rugby tackles flying in as well, I think, at one point.
We can see some. We've got some pictures of.
I mean, I think Alan makes a good point. You've got to stand up to it at this game. It's the FA Cup. There's a lot at stake, and you know, this Birmingham in front of their home fans, and they're going to put a shift in. They're going to put tackles in. They're going to put challenges.
I think this is my favourite.
This is my. I think the Six Nations is back on the rugby.
We spoke about Tom Brady before the game, and this is definitely blindside Super Bowl. Great block, but yeah, it got a little bit messy. And this one actually went without a yellow because it ended up staying in play for another minute. Yeah. That could have been a red on its own.
Yeah,
it was a nasty tackle. Yeah, of course.
It's like old school stuff.
Like it is old school, isn't it? Like from the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing about it, sometimes it's refreshing. There's no VAR, Gary, isn't there? Yeah. And whatever the ref decision's made, that's it done, isn't it? You can't go back to the cameras and go for a second opinion.
No, that's right. What do you think
expect
without
that?
VAR?
It's the FA Cup, and there's a lot at stake, and so many players want to make an impression on the manager. So many players for Birmingham, they're reacting to the crowd because they want them to go flying into tackle. So I think tonight had everything we wanted. And,
sorry, I would just say one thing about the VR. You're just asking about VR. I think it's quite refreshing that there's no VR till a point. And I think because the FA Cup is such a historic competition, it's the magic of the FA Cup. I wish they had it the whole way through the whole tournament. I know it's the next round. I think it comes in. Is that
it comes in the next round. Yeah.
But like it's something that's sort of organic about the FA Cup.
If the two decisions went against Newcastle, would it still feel the same way?
Well, maybe not.
Well, that's a very good point. I mean, what about you? What do you think? I mean, it seems odd that really unusual. You suddenly go, there's no goal line technology. We've had that for years. Yeah. And everyone actually trusts goal line technology, don't they?
Yeah, well, I think when a computer's doing it, you've got nobody to point the finger at. I think, as we said, when we looked at the goal itself, it was it's very difficult for us to say that the linesman definitely knew what he saw, and it was more of a guess in my opinion.
Well, we'll show that goal in a second. In fact, we'll show the goals from the first half now. Started with this effort for Birmingham.
Really well worked from Birmingham, poor from Newcastle, that they give two players. I mean, the freedom, there's no one within 5 or 6 yards of that first header there and then that finish there. So
clearly
great
a trained
for Birmingham,
move,
terrible from Newcastle. Though. Give them a really tough start, and big questions were always going to be asked from then onwards.
Right. Here is the goal in question. Very much in question, we think.
Yeah, Wilson does really well here to initially break, and then as it goes there, Willock obviously does the right thing, pokes his toe out, manages to get it back towards the goal. Peacock Farrell is behind the line, but like I say, we'll never know whether it was or wasn't, but I think the linesman's angle, how does he make the decision? Looking through Cochrane with I just don't know how he makes a conclusive decision that that's over the line.
Yeah. I think if there's any doubt, you'd probably say not to give it, isn't it? But he was adamant, the linesman. See that? I mean, taking on away from Peacock Farrell's a pretty decent save as well from
quick
Bailey.
reactions, weren't they?
That was a really good reaction.
In terms of the linesman, not quite quickly enough. This is Wilson's goal. This was an odd goal as well, wasn't it?
That was a really good touch from Masula there, and he'll be disappointed he doesn't put.
No, I think he can claim the most thoughtful assist in FA Cup history.
Well, he'll be thinking like that. He'll be thinking of the goal that he should have put in, but it ends up in the back of the net anyway, and Callum Wilson doing what he does best in that 6 yard box.
It's funny here, watch Masula when he goes into the net, like he misses an absolute sitter, and then obviously Callum backs it up and scores, but he's thinking, I don't know if he's celebrating or be ashamed because I missed the chance myself.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, he had a good game, Will, to be fair. I played with him at Derby. He was a good young lad with all the attributes, just needs to put it all together, and unfortunately didn't get that opportunity.
What a strike this is, though. He'll never hit one
what
like
about
this
one?
again. I mean, this is as sweet as they come on the half volley. Oh, my word. Keeper's got no chance.
Unbelievable strike. It was worth the admission fee alone, guy. I know the Newcastle fans are behind that goal. It was nearly worth travelling all the way down.
Did you pay, Shay? Did you pay?
That was some goal. What the goal with the power behind it. I mean, it's a brilliant strike. Curtis mentioned it at half-time. He only scores worldies, and that's another one for the collection, Curtis.
It is another one, but he won't score one as good as that, especially, again against Newcastle, FA Cup, the emotions of the game. It's a fantastic strike.
OK, we can join Eddie Howe, who's pitch side. Eddie, many congratulations. You must be delighted to get through that, particularly after the game that you had just a few days ago.
Yeah, it was a tough game for us, Gary. Mentally, physically, you could see a few of the players were on the edge today, but delighted to get through. It was a great result in the end.
Yeah. You had to make changes. You were forced into that. And at one point, you must have thought this was going to be a difficult night, particularly going in at half-time after that remarkable goal from Wata. But what did you say at half-time to you boys?
I thought it was going to be a difficult night before the game, and then they conceded within a minute. So, yeah, we knew that made it doubly difficult because the attitude of, the atmosphere in the stadium totally changed. It was electric at the start. I think we managed to get a foothold in the game and did really well. At half-time, it was about just staying calmer. I think we were a little bit anxious. Game became a little bit emotional for us. We didn't want flashpoints in it. Needed to be calm and control the game. I thought we did that much better in the second half.
Eddie, was it always your plan to take Gameiraj off at half-time and Dan Burn off midway through the second half, or was there something tactical or injury-wise?
Bruno at half-time, yes. Dan, no. We were forced to take Dan off at that stage of the game. It looked like he did something with his groin, so fingers crossed it's not too bad.
Yeah. What a season it's been for you, Eddie. You must be delighted with the overall progress of the football club. What's been so different this year, do you think?
Probably the biggest difference is we haven't had so many injuries, and I'm saying that because in the last couple of weeks we seem to have picked up a couple, and I think that we're at such a key stage of the season that would be the last thing we need to derail us. So we've got such a small squad that's a little bit of a concern today. We missed Sven, we missed Anthony today, and then Dan looks like he's picked up something. So last season we had big numbers of players out, and it definitely disrupted our rhythm during the season.
OK, Eddie, we'll let you go. It's a miserable evening. Get warm. Get warm.
It's not that miserable, don't worry.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Wish you well for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Gary. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What a job he's done, Alan.
Fantastic.
Really.
Fans love him, and rightly so. He's done an amazing job. He's got a great affinity. He knows what the fans want. He plays exciting front foot football, and long may that continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what their job he's done, getting them to the Champions League, and then having that season where it's a little bit more difficult after with the Champions League there. These two know more about me than about Newcastle, but the fans are right behind him, and getting to a final, they'll love it.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem you might have now is team selection. They've got Man City next to me, Willock, man of the match tonight, Wilson back and scoring, Nick Pope had another big performance, so him and Dubravka fight.
What you want, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
He did mention a few injuries aside from that. A line on Birmingham, though, they've got, other things that will prioritise.
Yeah, I think the league has to be a priority. They have to go up. The money they've spent, what Chris Davis got, they have to go up. But they've also got another chance of going to Wembley in the Virtue Trophy. So fingers crossed they can do that.
Yeah.
Fans can still have a day out, but then hopefully get a promotion.
But I think they did themselves proud.
They did.
They did. Massive, great performance. Didn't get what they wanted today, but they can all look at themselves in the mirror and have a smile on their face.
I think I'm really proud of how they went about the game, the reaction they got from the crowd. They appreciated that. Yeah. They came up against a very good team who were up for it also. But it was a great game.
It was. We enjoyed it. Shay, Alan, thank you very much. Curtis, thank you very much indeed. Great to work with you. Here's all the live FA Cup football coming up on the BBC. There's live commentary of Brighton against Chelsea right now on BBC Sounds. You can watch Blackburn play Wolves on iPlayer tomorrow from 12:20. Aston Villa against Spurs is live on BBC One from 5:20. And you can see Doncaster Rovers versus Crystal Palace on iPlayer from 7:35 on Monday night. So Newcastle go through to the 5th round. Birmingham gave them a real run for their money. But where there's a Willock, there's a way. Goodbye.
St Andrews is rocking. St Andrews is ready. And it's into the net! Hammered in! Oh, what a noise! Oh, what a start! It went in. Can you believe it? Wilson has got the ball in. And the shot... Oh!